so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Content, hold your breath and feel the tension. Devils hide behind redemption. Honesty is a one-way gate to hell. I wanna taste consumption. Eat faster to waste oxygen. Hear the children sing aloud. It's music till the wick burns out. Be carefree lately, yeah. Just picking up daisies. Got one too many quarters in my pockets. Counting like the four-leaf clovers in my locket. Untied laces, yeah. Just tripping on daydreams. Got dirty little lullabies playing on repeat. Might as well just ride around the nursery and count sheep.
God that the brothers on the rise now. Woo! Endless celebrations all in my house. Levitating now, I'm super duper fly now. London boy, but DC where I reside now. Put the time in while you always yelling time out. And for quit it, cause I know I'm coming with it. You were sitting, you were wishing I was handling my business. Now I got the ball like Harry Potter playing Quidditch. And my business so humongous, you would think that happens in there. Oh man, I'm all that, yeah, I'm all that. Looking for that whip, yeah, that what you call that. I'ma blow up in the summer, have them yelling fall back. And I've always been ahead like an effing ball cap. Man, I came in the game like, whoa. Got a couple chains on me cause I like gold. They told me I'm the best and I told them I know. Cause when I'm in your town, every ticket I sold. Yeah, they saying I'm the man. Facts, bro. Lot of haters, tell me where they at though. I'm the new pop, all I do is rap though. Want me on your song, throw a couple stacks, yo. Woo! Everybody wanna do the same thing. That's why we ain't on the same page. Do my own thing and I maintain. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Yeah, I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Yeah.
Alright, welcome to the stream everyone. Today we're doing 3 games. We're going to be doing Bristol City versus Middlesbrough, Chelsea v Sheffield United and Burnley v Liverpool. At the end of the Burnley-Liverpool game as well, we'll be doing a mod upgrade, so we'll be making someone else a moderator, so... that should be good. But first game today is Bristol City v Middlesbrough. Game starts in 23 minutes. So we're just going to go through the lineups and stuff. So the lineups, we'll start off with Bristol City in a second. But let me just get the chat. Josh Taylor, welcome to the stream. Right, so the lineups start off with Bristol City. They're playing a 4-2-3-1 with Bentley in goal, Moore and Baker centre back, Rowell left back, Hunt right back, Brownhill and Masenjo in midfield, with Vyman on the right, Eliasson on the left, Casey Palmer in the middle, and Benekafobe up top. Then on the bench for them they have Diedu, O'Dowda, Schmodix, Semenyo, Williams, Pereira, and Mayempa. Butchered some of them names, but you can read the bench there if you want to see it. And then for Middlesbrough, they're playing 4-3-3 with Randolph in goal, Shotton and Fry centre back, Bowler left back, Dyke-Still right back, McNair, Clayton and Wing in the midfield with Fletcher on the left, Johnson on the right, and Assombalonga up top. And on the bench then they have Tavernier, Brown, Gusted, Saville, Malley, Walker and Pearce. I got to go for 5 minutes, alright, that's fine. Leeds top of the league, yeah. They're playing Swansea today as well, aren't they? So if they win, they go 3 points ahead of Swansea. And Charlton are playing Reading. We'll go through all the other fixtures in the Championship in a minute. Just gonna go through the match facts. So Bristol City have won 6 of their past 8 league games against Middlesbrough. None of the past 8 league meetings between Bristol City and Middlesbrough at Ashton Gate have ended as a draw. Both sides have 4 wins apiece in that time. Bristol City have won their past 3 league games, their longest winning run since a 7-match streak between December 2018 and February 2019. Jonathan Woodgate is first permanent, I can't even say permanent, I can't say that word for some reason, Middlesbrough manager to pick up just 1 victory in his first 5 league matches in charge since Karanka in November 2013. Sombalonga has scored 99 goals in the Football League, excluding playoffs, scoring more times for Middlesbrough than any other side. Bristol City's Benekafobe has netted 3 goals in his last 3 league appearances, as many as he bagged in his previous 27. So these are the match facts. The team news and injury news and stuff. Bristol City, Tom Callas will miss the game. Hungary's Adam Nagy is out with an ankle injury, while Corey Smith and De Silva are still continuing their recoveries. Visitors, fullbacks and captain George Friend isn't playing with a thigh problem, and Hayden Coulson cannot feature. Borough defender Fry might be fit to return, which he is playing, I think. Yeah, Fry's playing, so he's back from injury. So what we're going to do now, we're going to look at all the other championship fixtures today. So we have Bristol City Middlesbrough in 19 minutes. And then we have, at 3 o'clock, we have all the other games that haven't been played. So we have 10 games. So we have Birmingham versus Stoke, Brentford v Derby, Leeds v Swansea, Luton v Huddersfield, Millwall v Hull, Nottingham Forest v Preston, Reading v Charlton, Sheffield Wednesday v QPR, West Brom v Blackburn, and Wigan v Barnsley. So those are all the fixtures. Looking at the league table, Leeds top on 13 points, Swansea second also on 13 points, both of them sides playing each other. Charlton playing Reading, they're on 11 points. Fulham won yesterday, so they're on 10 points. Bristol City, who are playing in 90 minutes, are 5th. If they win, they go up to 3rd on 13 points. They'll need to win by 4 goals to be in the top 2. But Swansea could lose by like 2 or 3 goals today, so we'll have to wait and see. But Preston in 6th, Sheffield Wednesday 7th, West Brom 8th, Nottingham Forest 9th, Cardiff 10th after that draw, Millwall 11th, Reading 12th, QPR 13th, Blackburn 14th, Birmingham 15th, Derby 16th, Middlesbrough 17th, who are playing today. They can go on 8 points with a win, which will put them in 10th above Cardiff in goal difference. A draw will put them, well, the draw will keep them 17th, and a loss will keep them there unless other teams below them in the league win. And then the bottom 6, that's bottom 7, I mean. Yeah, it's bottom 7. Bottom 7, Luton 18th, Brentford 19th, Hull 20th, Barnsley 21st, Wigan 22nd, Huddersfield 23rd, and Stoke 24th. Top scorers, Borja Baston is on 5 goals, 1 assist. Mitrovic 5 goals. Johnson's 4 goals, 2 assists. Bamford's 4 goals, 1 assist. Taylor's 4 goals, 1 assist. Graben's 4 goals. Cavaleri's 3 goals, 2 assists. Bowen's 3 goals, 1 assist. Hagil 3 goals. Gallagher 3 goals. Afobe, who's playing today, has 3 goals. So he could go up to, I think, joint 3rd top scorer if he gets a goal today. Is there any other players? Vyman's on 2 goals. He's playing in a minute. Any Middlesbrough players? Doesn't look like it. I'm back. Welcome back to the stream. We've got 6 people in it, so the game starts in 15 minutes. We will put on commentary for it once the game kicks off. Yeah, but Tom Callas has played for both sides. He's at Bristol City now, but he's injured, so he can't play. We'll keep the lineups on there to anyone just joining the stream that hasn't seen it. Those are the 2 lineups. Middlesbrough playing a 4-3-3, Bristol City playing a 4-2-3-1. Alright, that is the starting 11. Subs are there. I'll move that in a minute. Rip Barry, yeah, that's quite sad. At least Bolton are still a team though. Shane Barry aren't anymore. Apparently they could still get an owner, but I'm not sure. Barry threaten EFL. Also got Southampton v Man United happening in 11 minutes, same time as the match we're doing. So if anyone's interested, those are the lineups. I'm a Middlesbrough fan. Well, comment what do you think's going to happen? Do you think you'll win today? If there's anyone in the stream, comment your predictions for the game, see if anyone can get it correct. Don't think anyone got the score prediction correct yesterday. I didn't see anyone predict 1-1. I saw someone predict 2-2. Rest predicted Fulham and Cardiff wins. Leeds v Swansea's big game. Yeah, both teams top of the league on 13 points. I would do commentary for that, but there's no commentary for it. It's only the Premier League games at 3 o'clock. My prediction for the game is... I don't know. Probably 1-1. We'll have to wait and see. These are the subs. We're not focusing on that game. We're focusing on the Championship fixture between Bristol City and Middlesbrough. Bristol City can go on 13 points if they win. And if Swansea or Leeds lose today, then that means Bristol City are up there. If Charlton win today and Leeds and Swansea draw, then Charlton are joint top. Obviously behind on goal difference, but they're playing Reading away, I think, today. And Reading have got 7 points in 5 games, which is alright. Mike Dean is bad, I hate Mike Dean. But the ref for Saint Manu's Mike Dean. Yeah. The ref for Bristol Middlesbrough is Lee Mason, I think. Yeah, Lee Mason's the ref for this game. We'll leave the lineups on there for a minute. Because we've got, let's see, we got 9 people in there a minute ago. I think we've lost a bit now. Hopefully they can join back once the thing started. Let's see, we have got 10 people in there. So we have 8 minutes till kick-off. The lineups are on the screen now. Bristol City playing 4-2-3-1. Middlesbrough playing 4-3-3. We'll scroll down to the subs in about 30 seconds. Check our subs. Need to make a sub target for the end of the day. So we are on 1,605. I'm going to make the target 1,612. I think. No, 1,630. We got 30 subs from one stream on Wednesday, so we're doing 3 streams today. We should be able to get at least 25. So 1,630 subs is our target for the end of the day. So if you could help me hit that, then that would be great. If you want to see more live commentaries for Bristol City and Middlesbrough games, then I'll show, in a minute, I'll show all the Bristol City and Middlesbrough games I'll be doing commentaries for in the next 2 months. So pause it if you want to. So let me just select Bristol City. Start off with Bristol City's fixtures I'm going to be doing. So the next fixture I'm going to be doing for Bristol City is probably none in September. Potentially Brentford v Bristol City, 2nd of October. Then we've got I can't even speak. Bristol City v Wigan on 27th of October. So we have 2 Bristol City streams coming up in the next 2 months. For Middlesbrough, we have in September no games unless there's commentary for it. I might do it. We've got Friday 4th of October. Birmingham City v Middlesbrough. We've got Middlesbrough v Preston as well, which we potentially could do. We've also got Huddersfield v Middlesbrough, so there's 3 potential Middlesbrough streams coming up in the next 2 months. I think there's 3 potential Bristol City ones as well. So if you want to see that, subscribe to the channel. The Leeds Matchday programme for today is so good. Let me see if they post it on Instagram. I'll have a look at it. Don't think they have. Can you do North London Derby tomorrow? Yeah, I'll try to do it. It is my birthday tomorrow, so I might not be able to, but we'll see. Five minutes till kick off now. I'll put this on the screen for the next few minutes. Wait, I need to go back quickly to do something. That should be ready now. I'll test it at 12:30. Now, if it's not fine, then I'll fix it. Let me just set up my stream so it's perfect for the thing. Look on Google. Yeah, I'll look on Safari on my phone in a minute. I guess that'll be fine. I'll look on Google now. celebrating 100 years of Leeds United. Is that what the programme's based on? Obviously, I can't look at the pages, but front cover looks like it's probably going to be a good programme. But we're 1 minute away from kick-off now. As soon as the game starts, I'll put on commentary. If you are new to the channel, you want to see more live commentaries for Championship related games, then subscribe to the channel. Because we'll be doing 2 or 3 Bristol City streams in the next month or 2, and 2 or 3 Middlesbrough streams in the next month or 2 as well. But game should start in less than a minute now. Alright, it's past now. As soon as it says kickoff on the thing in the bottom right corner, then I'll put on the commentary. But I just have to wait because that's when it's... well, that's when the game starts, when it says that. Right, there we go. The kickoff has started. I'm going to put on commentary now. Hopefully you guys enjoy the first half, and I'll be back at half time.
Well, we'll leave that one now and say warm welcome to this lunchtime kickoff between Bristol City and Middlesbrough at Ashton Gate. It's myself, Matt Guy, and James Butler alongside me. We'll bring you the game today as the ball just pinballs around in midfield and goes up forward for Bristol City. But I will run you through the teams just before any sort of play comes forward for the home side. It's Daniel Bentley in net with Hunt, Baker, Moore and Rowe across the back, with Masengo and Brownhill as central midfielders. Eliasson on the right, Vyman on the left, and Palmer in behind Afobe. And for Middlesbrough, it will be Darren, Randolph with Dykesteel, Fry, Shotton, Bowler across the back, McNair, Clayton and wing in midfield, and Fletcher and Johnson on the wings in behind Britta Sombalonga, as some early pressure comes onto the defence of Middlesbrough. They're the team that are under pressure. Bristol are the team, of course, in form, winning their last 3 games. But Middlesbrough coming forward here. It's in midfield and a strike at goal, and it's a good save up to his left-hand side there for Daniel Bentley, and a good attempt by Fletcher. Yeah, actually Fletcher really did meet that one with the meat of his foot, and a good save there, diving to his left, as you say, and touched it round first corner of the game. And Middlesbrough trying to play out from the back there, nearly got caught as well themselves, and they'll be happy to be up the other end. Absolutely. So corner coming from the right hand side, it will be taken short, comes back now, it's lifted in towards the box, towards the far post, and rising high is just about there. Will be Bentley just to be able to get it clear on the right hand side. Early chances for Middlesbrough, really coming out of the blocks quickly. It's lobbed forward once again in towards the box, but just good interception there by Bentley to stop a Sombalonga running onto the end of that one. But a great start for Middlesbrough. Yeah, Middlesbrough, they rose that early kind of minute of pressure, and now they've got the ball. They don't seem to want to give it back to Bristol City. 2 good chances there for Borough early on. They need to get some goals, don't they, Bristol City? 3-all in their first game, not really scored a huge amount since. Sombalonga and co up front need to find the back of the net in this one. Running through midfield there is Fletcher, cutting in off the wing, but he's lost the ball, and it comes to the left hand side for Eliasson. He's looking to try and get off and shrug off the man, but he managed to find the man in midfield in Masengo. He plays the ball right towards Jack Hunt. He's running down the right hand side, plenty of space to run into. Lifts the ball into the box, headed out in the middle by Fry, and then Middlesbrough will bring the ball out on the near side. Long ball up along the floor, but it's easily intercepted. Running forward now for Middlesbrough. Down the left hand side, it's Lewis Wing. He's looking for an option, eventually comes into midfield, and it's inside for Bristol, and now Masengo just able to flick the ball away from Wing, who was running onto him and just tripped him in midfield. And Masengo will take the quick free kick inside the centre circle. Quick fire starts here at Ashton Gate. No real clear-cut chances, but a few nervy moments for the home goalkeeper. Header backwards now in defence. It was coming on the left-hand side for Middlesbrough. Mark Boller just heading the ball back to Darren Randolph there. Just able to get there before the on-running man tried to intercept. So Middlesbrough in possession once again. Long ball down the right hand side looking for Johnson. He can't quite get there. It's cleared out from the back by Moore, and it will be a throw in upfield for Middlesbrough. Not really settled as of yet this game. Throw in on the near side for the away side. It's taken, thrown back in towards Fry, lifts the ball forward. There's a man running in behind, and in behind now is Assombalonga. Lays the ball back. It's inside the box on the right side. Strike and goal, just about blocked at the near post. Middlesbrough coming forward once again. It's not really cleared. A good header though in midfield for Bristol City, and Eliasson on the far side is able to bring the ball clear, left-footed, looks for a long ball forward, almost intercepted, and on the left-hand side there, arms are raised aloft, is Andres Feynman, who almost got onto it.
Cracking start to this game, and 4 minutes in, both sides looking to play it along the ground, looking to attack, neither side just sitting back and letting things develop. They're trying to make things happen at Ashton Gate today. Jonathan Woodgate set up Borough, hasn't he, to come out and attack. You know, they've come out, they're trying to take the chances, trying to create, and as I say, you know, not scoring a huge amount of goals of late. He's trying to put that right, and his team are responding in these early moments.
Absolutely, and a couple of men there just running, straying offside for the away side. I think it was Assombalonga on the far side, but the flag went up for, I think it was Marvin Johnson, as the long ball came forward, just strayed a yard or so offside. Trying to run in behind Bristol once again, doing it just exactly that, James, trying to attack quickly against Bristol. Middlesbrough on the ball at the back. It's just about cleared. Quick pressure from Bristol running forward. How have they got that clear, James? I don't know.
He didn't know too much about that. He got absolutely penned in there, didn't he? Two players coming at him and just managed to get it through the middle and get it clear and into safety. But not a huge amount of poise in that defence. It's hurried stuff, frantic stuff, and Bristol putting pressure on. Absolutely. It was Ryan Shotton at the back who just about able to get it clear. It looked almost like a rugby tackle that came in from Tommy Rowe. I think he just about lost his footing. Running down the right hand side now. It will be lobbed down the line to the right hand side towards Eliasson. He's looking to run and take on the man on the far side in Mark Buller. The ball comes inside. It's now on the edge of the box, running to the right hand side. It's clipped back into the box by Masengo. No one quite on the end of it. Then a shot by Casey Palmer, doesn't quite get the hold of it, and it's easily into the keeper's hands. But Benikafobi there was also inside the box, not quite able to get on that one, but a good move from Bristol nonetheless. You'll see on this replay, his eyes lit up there, and he could see the ball going into the back of the net before he really made any contact with him. Didn't get it at all, and scuffed it through to the keeper.
At the back now, Shotton just lifts the ball into midfield. It's a really poor ball, intercepted though by Bristol. Header goes forward, offside, but on the right hand side it is offside. It's just Vyman on the far side, just straying a little off. It was a good attempt though of a ball through. It was a poor though ball from Ryan Shotton. As you said before, he caught in pressure. This time he thought, I'll get rid of the ball quickly, but not really an assured pass at all.
Yeah, he started off that incident's put him under pressure now, hasn't it? And he's now trying to get rid of the ball quickly, and it isn't working quite for him yet. He's kind of put pressure on himself in these early moments and made a couple of mistakes, and he'll want to get a couple of decent touches now to get himself back into the game properly.
Absolutely. Randolph plays the free kick long. It goes down the left hand side. It's cleared and a free kick will be given.
Can't quite work out yet if the good play we're seeing, because we've seen a few breaks, we've seen some good attacking play, whether it's because the two teams are actually playing quite poorly in the middle of the field, and it's kind of, the breaking, they're getting opportunities because of mistakes rather than because of good play at the moment.
It's Middlesbrough on the ball on the far side. Bringing the ball back is Fletcher. Switch of play to the near side in towards Dykesteel. He looks to take the man on down the line, but Eliasson won't let him do so. Now into the man in midfield, lifted forward, man running on in towards the box, and then a sliding challenge comes in eventually by Tommy Rowe. It was on Paddy McNair who had made the run in behind, and it will be a chance once again for Middlesbrough to put something into the box. It was a good ball in the end in towards Paddy McNair. Good run off the shoulder really, and Masengo wasn't quite there to cover him.
Yeah, it was a nice little chip through, wasn't it? And he was, unfortunately for McNair, he was just going away from goal when he collected it, but good defending.
Corner comes in towards the front post, it's flicked on almost, and it goes out of play. I think it came off Paddy McNair. He complains to the referee. He was the one running. It looked as if he went for a diving header at the near post, but the man was covering in the end. But it's one of those is short corners. If you're playing for it, it can work. It looked to me as if it did come off the defender last, actually.
Yeah, it did, and it came off his arm, didn't it, really? But he's too close for it to be anything like a penalty appeal. But just trying to get the flick on. He directed it well, but the defender was close to him.
Absolutely, it was a short corner. They sometimes work if you play for it, but if you're hitting the first man, it usually negates the pressure that you can create by just putting it into the box. Casey Palmer with a brilliant turn in midfield, turns and runs at the defence. It's down the left hand side, crossed into the box, but just about cleared. Sorry, it was Benikafobi, and the cross was blocked away. Corner, good run from Benikafobi on the left hand side, just going into the channel as any good striker should, and it was a turn, I think, on Dale Fry in there.
Yeah, he turned on a sixpence there, didn't he? And really did run at the defence, got down the left hand side, couldn't quite get the cross across. But another corner, seeing corners stack up in the first 10 minutes of this game.
Absolutely, it will be a corner from the near side, right footed in swinger, goes in towards the 6-yard box or the edge of it, and there's a free kick given by the referee Lee Mason as a man went down inside the box. I think it was a Bristol man went down inside the box from a bit too much pulling and shirt tugging from Middlesbrough. I
agree with you though, the short corner, I always think it's a bit of a waste. Unless you actually hit it, get it perfect, you're never going to cause too much trouble. You're only, the most you're going to get is another corner, isn't it, as it gets headed away from the near post. Stick it in the danger area. I think it's the stat or something about 1 in every 30 corners lead to a goal. Stick it in the danger area and try and bring that percentage down a bit.
And you always wonder whether that's a lack of quality from the player or they're actually playing for the short corner. You never quite know sometimes, but Middlesbrough have the ball at the back on the right hand side as it's played backwards from Dykesdale in towards Darren Randolph. Now with Shotton across the back to his centre-back partner in Dale Fry. He's looking to bring the ball out from the back as Dykesdale made a run inside. McNair drops off, ball up down the line and running inside midfield. Now is Paddy McNair once again, but he's tackled, but the ball falls to one of his teammates running forward inside the right hand side. It comes down to Dykesdale on the wing, puts a cross in, deflected away once again as Assombalonga fancies his chances trying to get in at the near post.
Assombalonga he was absolutely shrieking for it to be played through to him, but he was offside, wasn't he? You can't run offside and expect the ball to be played through. Good play, I think, in the end, to actually ignore the striker and play it out wide.
Will be a corner once again. We seem as if half the time we've just been watching corners so far. In the majority of the game so far, plenty of attacks that have ended up in blocked crosses. So on the near side, there is a man for the option for the short corner, but left-footed in-swinging ball straight onto the head of the goalkeeper, punches it into the air, and on the second attempt, Bentley is able to grab that one, and now they will look to counter-attack down the right-hand side. It's a throw on towards Masengo. He can't quite reach it, and the ball goes out of play. Well, it's been a mighty fast start here at Ashton Gate. There's been plenty of chances and plenty of corners already inside the first minute. Daniel Bentley was forced into a couple of fantastic saves, and then Bristol went on the counter-attack themselves and tried a long through ball in towards Andreas Weimann. He wasn't quite able to get on the end of it, but the Bristol City pressure continued as Ryan Shotton had the ball at the back for Middlesbrough. He was quick on his toes to be able to flick the ball away before two men were able to run in there. Eventually a foul given against Tommy Rowe, and then Casey Palmer had an attempt at a volley as a cross came in. It was deflected, fell to the Bristol man. He had a shot at goal, but eventually it was miskicked really and fell into the arms of the goalkeeper. Bristol will just give away a throw-in on the near side.
Just taking a breather now, aren't they? Frantic start the first kind of 9 minutes or so of this game, but just passing it around the back. Now Borough just trying to ease themselves back into this game. City, after weathering that storm in the first 5 minutes or so, got themselves back in, had a few decent chances, and now just playing it around Borough, trying to get a ball in across there, and they're too long the cross. Now trying to chase that down to keep it in play.
On the near side, it's put into the box once again, and then it cannons away and comes back to the winger on the near side. It's blocked by Tommy Rowe and will go out for a throw-in. So Middlesbrough with the throw comes in towards Paddy McNair, tries to turn his man in. Masengo has to go backwards though. It's lifted. Oh, it was going to be lifted into the box, but the man decided not to. It's McNair in towards the near post. It's deflected and shot at goal, and it's a flick on, I think, at the near post by Fletcher. Comes straight off the post. Now Bristol are on the counter attack on the far side, and it's Eliasson, left-footed crossfield ball. It's a really nice ball in towards Rowe on the near side. He cuts inside. He takes a shot at goal. He's not quite able to reach it. What a great passage of play.
That is the definition of end-to-end stuff, isn't it? McNair, great ball in there. At the top end, how that didn't go in, just came off the post and bounced out tamely. Could have gone anywhere, but bounced out tamely, but straight down the other end. Bristol City just shoots over the bar. Really good play from both teams there. Both can count themselves a little bit unfortunate not to have opened the scoring there. Just toe poked it, goes straight against the post, bounces out. As I say, could have gone anywhere, across the 6-yard box. And for Bristol City, very fortunate that didn't just land at somebody arriving at the far post who could just put it into the empty net, but straight up the other end, Bristol City, and could have probably done a bit better with that shot. Blasted it over the crossbar. A little bit more poise at times in this match, and we could have seen an opening goal.
Absolutely, it was one of those for Vyman, I think it was in the end. It didn't quite settle for him on the floor, so he had to rise his foot up, but running forward now is Eliasson. Good footwork by him. It goes to the right hand side. Shot at goal by Hunt. It's deflected away and will go out for a corner, but Bristol coming forward more and more and more. It's almost as if that chance instantly there from Middlesbrough has shocked them into life.
Yeah, it's woken them up, hasn't it? You know, thinking, right, you're not going to score in our net. We're going to make sure we keep the ball and take it down yours. Eliasson going across to the far side to take a corner here. We need to see one of these corners delivered into a dangerous area. Make it count. 14 minutes on the clock. It's been a terrific 14 minutes. Both keepers tested. Both attacks will think, well, we could have maybe done a little bit better.
Corner comes in towards the far post. It's a battle for it. It just eventually goes out of play for a goal kick. It was Baker trying to get in at the far post. Nathan Baker against, I think it was Ryan Shotton in there, just able to get above his man, but not able to direct his header on goal.
Just trying to use his height advantage there, wasn't he? Getting it at the back post. Couldn't quite get enough of his forehead on it to steer it back either across goal or towards goal.
Will be a goal kick for Middlesbrough. Long one down the right-hand side, knocked up field, flicked on by the first man, Assombalonga, then flicked to the left-hand side and running through. It's an attempt for Johnson to try and get in there, but eventually covering across was Nathan Baker, able to knock the ball clear. Battle for the ball on the far right-hand side between Shotton and Afobe. Eventually Shotton comes out with it. Afobe continues the pressure though. Knocked down the right-hand side, flicked back by Brownhill. Now in midfield with Masengo. Goes to the left-hand side, tries to find Rowe. It's a brilliant interception by Dykesteel. Gives the ball to Paddy McNair, receives it back on the right-hand side. Masengo's trying to cover across. Dykesteel fakes the cross, goes inside to Paddy McNair, runs inside the box, will have an attempt at goal, flicks it towards goal, and almost flicked on by the in-stepping Ashley Fletcher. Somehow that ball's cannoned away from the goal.
That's crazy, isn't it? McNair's having a great game so far. He's been involved in everything Borough have done that's looked effective. Dykesteel down the right-hand side has had a lot of space to run into as well, and those two combining well down the right to try and make some chances for Borough. Nearly created one and that went goal-bound a few minutes ago, but another good attack since. And the left-hand side of Bristol City's defence getting overworked there and overrun at times.
Absolutely, as the ball just is able to settle down just for a moment as it's cleared by Middlesbrough.
Take a breath, because it is one of those games, isn't it, where when Bristol City are soaking up the ball at the back, they seem to have a release ball. Afobe, Wyman making themselves available, so whenever it's hacked clear, defence turns into attack very quickly.
Absolutely, Middlesbrough have the ball on the far side. It's knocked up towards Assombalonga, just plays the ball back. Nice flick by Fletcher in towards Bowler. Bowler looks in towards midfield, plays it to Paddy McNair. Tried a first time layoff in midfield. It didn't quite pull off on that occasion, but a nice attempt from the Borough man.
McNair's probably thinking, well, I'm having a good game here, I can try anything, and maybe just tried a little bit too much there. Trying a bit of finesse. Didn't quite work for him.
On the far side now for Bristol, it's Jack Hunt, lifts the ball up towards Afobe. He chests the ball down in midfield to hold it. Does really well, does the Bristol man. Left-footed switch of play to the left-hand side towards Rowe. Rowe looks to go forward. There's no one making a run in front of him, so eventually has to come backwards towards Moore. Moore across to Baker. Baker almost intercepted by Assombalonga. Long ball up there for Bristol. Taken down upfield. It will be Eliasson now on the far side. Looks to try a few tricks. Left foot across into the box towards a Phobie. Tries to battle for it. Falls to Palmer. Palmer trying to get a shot off. Doesn't really settle. It comes to Palmer again. Flicked into the air. Phobie with a high foot. Then Palmer coming in once again. Pinball inside the Middlesbrough box, and it doesn't fall again for Bristol.
It was just not on their feet, was it? It was kind of like lurking around, bouncing about, cannoning off everything, and just not falling for a Bristol attacker to put it away. Borough just kind of living on their nerves a bit at the moment at the back. Probably be quite happy to get a free kick there and just take 10 seconds and try and regroup a bit.
Absolutely, the ball came in towards Masengo. It looked as if he maybe put a high boot in, but just to see, as we see a replay of this, it was a great ball in from the far side by Elias Palmer.
Just didn't sit down, did it?
It was bouncing up hip height every single time, and
Yeah.
it was eventually, it's easier to be able to hook the ball clear than steer it on goal from that height.
Yeah, it was frustrating for Lee Johnson and his men there. Just didn't quite sit down for get the shot away. He's creating some good chances there, but if anything, they're playing at home at Ashton Gate, you'd expect them to be the team driving forward, but they look a bit better on the break. When Borough have had a bit of attack and Bristol City break quickly, that's when they get a little bit more space, look a bit more dangerous.
Yeah, Phobie's done well so far. Every time the ball's gone up to him, he's held it up and brought men into play. There were a few shouts for a handball inside the box in that sort of pinball moment. The ball striking the arm of Ryan Shot, and there was nothing he could do about it. It was fizzed at him from less than a yard away. Great turn by Palmer on the near side. Cuts inside, tries to put a ball into the box. Scoops it up into the air. I think the ball had just gone out of play. Oh no, he was offside, sorry. On that far side, it was a throw-in. It was played down the line and then flicked to Palmer. He did just stray a tiny bit offside. You have to say the official on the far side has got very good eyes to see right across the pitch to see that.
Yeah, he's just a little bit slow, wasn't he, on the uptake there? He kind of just strolling back, and then when he got the ball, he was offside, so technically it was the correct decision. Nice turn from him after that, but yeah, just straight offside. And you're not going to score goals if you've gone offside, are you?
You're definitely not, especially with the modern day and certainly in the Premier League with VAR, but of course not in the Championship. Long ball comes up from Randolph at the back.
Only a matter of time, isn't it?
Only a matter of time, absolutely. Just wait for that one to be introduced into the stadiums. As Randolph has the ball, knocks the ball long up towards Sombalonga, flicks the ball on nicely, but it doesn't really fall for Fletcher. He puts some pressure on, but eventually will be cleared by Hunt down the right hand side, searching for the man in Elias. Not going to be sticking at his feet as Ryan Shotton picks it up with Baller. Now back to Shotton. Bit of possession here for Middlesbrough. 1-2 quickly with Lewis Wing in midfield. Eventually goes back towards Randolph. Great pressure from Vyman as he puts Randolph completely under pressure. Has to steer the ball out to the right hand side, and all he could do in the end is play it out of play.
Forced mistake, didn't he, Vyman there? He was must have run about 100 yards across the pitch, firstly forward and then across goal to try and narrow down the defence, and Randolph in goal and forced the error. Played it straight out. No dramas there for Borough because it's gone safe, but good endeavour from Andreas Vyman.
Ball played back now for the home side. On the far side now, it's played from Bentley up towards Hunt, who's in an advanced position for a full-back. Tries to play the ball forward to Elias, not quite on the same page on that occasion.
He'd set his mind on playing that ball regardless whether the player was going to be there or not, and in the end, miles away from actually reaching his teammate. But another free kick here.
Yep, it was Masengo just flicked the ball past. I think it was Wing in midfield, and Wing just held on to him as his other man in Adam Clayton came across to intercept him. And he did just hold the shoulder of Masengo. He went down, so a good chance for Bristol to lift the ball inside the Borough box and cause some more pressure. It's Middlesbrough who've come closest to scoring today, but Bristol have certainly had their fair share of pressure put on the Middlesbrough goal. There's plenty of men up there for Bristol as well as it's lifted in towards the penalty spot, head of the way well, and then struck at goal. It's a really nice strike on the left hand side. I think it was Tommy Rowe on that near side. He stayed on the wing as Brownhill is under pressure, tries to play the ball forward, has to go backwards. Hunt's now under pressure, great sweeping ball on the far side, but another good effort from Bristol and coming forward. And then it's inside, it's whipped forward, Eliasson flicked on, it's headed inside the box, and Randolph was scrambling to his right hand side, wasn't able to get there, and it's clipped the post. I think it was Nathan Baker up from the back.
As we've seen, both posts struck at either end now, haven't we, with good play there from Borough. Good ball across, nice header. He directed that beautifully, just a little bit too wide. Randolph was beaten, and it cannons off the post and goes behind. But some good opportunities here for both sides in this first half. Both have struck the post, and both have created some openings.
Yeah, it's a brilliant effort there from Baker as
how we've not seen a goal so far is beyond me. We've had 22 minutes here, and both sides have had some really good opportunities. It's just a matter of time, it seems to me, before the ball's in the back of the net.
Absolutely, although it can sometimes be one of those games when it's so frantic that everyone gets tired, and then it suddenly starts to dull down a little bit as Borough trying to scrap the ball down the right hand side. Good holding off work by Rowe. Eventually it's put into the stands by Taylor Moore on the near side. It's Lee Johnson just clapping on his players, telling them to keep going as they are, maybe get a bit more compact.
Who do you think's the happier of the two managers at the moment? Both would be reasonably pleased, but be quite disappointed with maybe some of their defensive play.
Yeah, I mean, it's down the left hand side. You mentioned it earlier, Bristol have been a bit weak on the left. That's where Paddy McNair's had a lot of joy, of course, coming forward, but equally Jonathan Woodgate and his side have had a lot of pressure on their box and given away a few silly fouls and things like that have put more pressure on them.
Referee getting involved again with the Bristol player saying that he's getting an elbow.
It was Tommy Rowe and Ashley Fletcher on the near side having a battle. It's thrown in by Dyke-Steele. Dyke-Steele looks inside, he comes and gets the ball back. Good tackle though by Casey Palmer, and it's one of those professional clever winnings of a foul there. He's won the ball back and then he stopped right in front of Dyke-Steele, who has of course pushed him over.
I think that's an indication that Dyke-Steele's been really influential down that right hand side. They've realised they've got to get close to him. They can't give him any space, because when he's had space he's used it well.
He certainly has. Palmer won that free kick, so it will be Bentley who will knock the ball forward. And it's been a frantic game right through to the 23rd minute as we are now in the game at Ashton Gate. It's been chances galore at both ends. Both sides have hit the post. It was a good header attempt from Nathan Baker for the hosts, who was able to come forward for a corner, stayed forward for the resulting attack, but his header just flicked the post, and it was a good shot by Paddy McNair for the away side at the near post. It was flicked on at the near post by Fletcher, but it did just career off the post. Somehow this game is still level.
Marvin Johnson, they're just trying to cut inside. Sambalonga's got it on the left now. Borough just trying to get that opening. Another corner, building that pressure. Both sides. In fact, the referee's given a goal kick there. Looked like it was came off the defender to me, but it's gone behind for a goal kick. Sambalonga, I was saying to you before we came into the studio that I don't think I've ever seen the Sambalonga have a good game, and so far he's kind of worked quite hard up front, but not really got too much of the ball yet. And certainly the better play that Borough have had has come down that right hand side. Dyke-Steele, McNair combining nicely. McNair's been influential in everything they've done really so far, and Sambalonga are yet to get the service to put the ball away. Afobe up the other end, working hard with Vyman, and so far it kind of goes from being very, very scrappy to being really good, doesn't it? It's one of those games where it's highs and lows all the way through.
It's put into the middle of the box, and it's in McNair on the edge. He plays the sideways ball to his teammate in Adam Clayton. He comes forward, he's eventually tackled, but eventually a free kick will be given in the middle of the park against Johnson. Marvin Johnson just cutting in off the right wing, giving away the foul there. But we have clocked over 25 minutes in this half already. It's gone pretty quickly, hasn't it, James? And it will be you to take us through to half time.
It will, and just too many of those, aren't there? Too many little kind of niggly fouls and stoppages in this game now. Just keeping the flow of the game diluted. Bristol City going down the right hand side now for a free kick. Jonathan Woodgate there looking to not sure if he'd be happy or not so far. Obviously hit the post. Both sides hit the post. Strengths and weaknesses in both teams, you think. Looking good going forward. So down the right hand side now, Borough penned in on that touchline, and good tackle. Sees a throw in for Bristol City. The Borough defence have been worked quite hard and not always looked up to it. A bit scrappy at times. So down the right hand side now, City. Cross comes in, but too long for Vyman, who was lurking around the edge of the 6-yard box. And Borough trying to get it clear down the right hand side. City narrowing down quickly. A lot of work from Bristol City in that top third, trying to press on the Borough defenders, and then good tracking back there from City. Get the ball back. It's just neither side can get a good passage of play going at the moment, can they? Where they get possession, keep it, and build concerted pressure on their opposition. The phobia there just Well, another free kick given. It's Clayton that's down on the floor. In fact, two Borough players just stretching, breathing heavily, and another free kick being given.
It was Casey Palmer on both occasions in there for Bristol. First time he won the ball back, and as you said, wasn't able to hold the possession of the ball and just gave it away again. And then on that occasion, just came in late on Clayton,
Absolutely.
who hit the deck and
shoulder barged him, didn't he?
Absolutely, he just came in with a great deal of force and was late.
You can see why the player goes down and looks a bit winded from that, because he got hit with some real force there. Wasn't expecting it, wasn't bracing himself for it, and was just floored. Chance for a few players to take on some fluids and enjoy a little bit of a breather and maybe just restock a little bit. A chance for the manager, Jonathan Woodgate, there, getting his messages to some of his Borough players, trying to get them a little bit more organised than they have been. Certainly at the back there, Jonathan Woodgate, as a central defender, will have been looking at some of the defensive play by his team, maybe just frowning a little bit because it's not been completely organised. They've been trying to play it out from the back, Borough, trying to play nice, neat, passing little triangles, getting it through to the midfield, but not quite working at the moment.
Yeah, of course, it's Daniel Ayala, who has made way for Dale Fry to come back in. Of course, the skipper has come in, but he's not really assured the team up really today so far.
No, and Palmer takes a yellow card for that challenge. And Jonathan Woodgate having a bit of a chat with the fourth official there on the sidelines. Not an angry chat by any means. It looks like a very nice, pleasant little discussion they could have had over a cup of tea somewhere.
Well, of course, taking over from Tony Pulis at the start of the season. Tony Pulis certainly had a few rows with assistants down his time.
The Borough, it's a club that shouldn't be where they are really. There's a lot of instances of teams that are in the Championship that are probably bigger than their current league status would suggest they should be, but Tony Pulis couldn't quite get it working for him. Woodgate's gone into Borough and not had the best of starts. Been a little bit inconsistent, Borough, so far.
I mean, it's the style of play, wasn't it, that they didn't really, the fans weren't too pleased with Tony Pulis. But at the end of the day, at this stage in the season, of course, Jonathan Woodgate needs time to implement his style of play, but they are 7 points worse off than they were at this stage last season. So
a long, hopeful ball forward there for City. Oh, and he can't get his feet on that. The defender and a Phobe on the right hand side. Bit of a wriggle, bit of a dance. Can't find a teammate, and then plays it back, and it goes out on the far side for a Borough throw-in. Yeah, it's something. Yeah, fans can forgive a lot, can't they? If they see their team playing nice-looking football, their players are trying 100% and are giving it their all. They don't like it when it's a bit negative and a bit. It leaves a bit to be desired from that. You need to be winning. If you're playing that kind of football, you need to be winning matches. Borough with a throw in then. Just since that break, since that stoppage and the drinks, it's just seems to have sucked the initial life out of the game. We're on the left-hand side, getting the ball forward. Again, a bit of a hopeful ball, but it's broken. And it just falls over the chance there. Borough looked like they could maybe just get in on the far side. And in the end, Bristol City hack the ball forward, picked up in midfield, beats his challenge, gets through. It's 3 against 3 at the back. Make the right choice. He plays it out to the left-hand side, cuts inside. Chance here for Bristol City. And it's deflected behind for a corner. Eliasson there chose his left foot, tried to go for the top left-hand corner, and in the end the deflection takes it behind for yet another corner in this first half. I haven't kept corner count in this first half, but we've seen quite a lot. And nice play there from Bristol City.
Yeah, Eliasson's looking like a busy player. He looks as if he's got really tricky feet today, and he's really sharp.
Just trying to bend that into the top corner, wasn't he? And the defender just gets across. It's wing with the block. And the corner there, too far, but it's been headed back inside. City having a nice passage of play here. Ball comes across from the left, headed out from by Borough. Recycled though, back in by City, but again cleared by Borough, who try and get the foot on it. In the end, the best they can do is get a free kick. Borough just been penned in a little bit. City pushing up. Now Borough a chance to bring it forward and relieve some of that pressure in the final third. So out to the left hand side. Just need that one killer ball, that one fine finish to open the scoring here, because we've seen pretty much everything else in this first half. Out on the right hand side, good ball in would be useful, but again, back for a corner.
Sixth corner of the game.
If you've been betting on corners in this first half, you've been doing okay, haven't you?
Yeah, there's been six corners and 13 shots, so we've had a pretty lively game so far.
It's a Rowe with the block there behind for a corner. Another one for Middlesbrough. Again, 2 players go short, but it's going to be lofted in to the box here by the looks of it. Bentley hasn't looked particularly solid at the back with the ball coming across, but it doesn't even come into play there as the ball's played short and headed out for a throw in to Burrett. It's Wing with the block. He's been busy in defence. Burrett coming down that right hand side where they've enjoyed a lot of success, but not that time. McNair's not too particularly happy with being penalised there. Just had the life sucked out of the game in the last 5 minutes, haven't we, really?
Yeah, it has. There's not been really a spell of possession from either team. It's not really been fluid at all. There's been a lot of stops and starts. The ball's gone out for a lot of throw-ins and corners, and there's been quite a few niggly fouls in midfield, so it's just kind of cut things out, but Bristol have a chance to break.
Yeah, Song go out to the right hand side. Again, a good ball needed. It's played across the left hand side. Bit of a wriggle. Can he play it back? 2 Borough defenders get across to him. It's out to Eliasson, who's been bright in this first half, as we've been saying, but loses out on that occasion as it's cleared long, but cut out by Bristol City. And down the left-hand side. Yeah, after that first 25 minutes where it was so manic, it's almost like the players have taken a bit of a breather here. Yeah, the fit individuals, but nobody can go at 100 miles an hour for the entire 90 minutes of a match. But a chance here. Got to break down the right-hand side. Needs a good ball across. 3 waiting in the centre. Just too far, just too much on it. It's cleared away by City. Hacked it clear. City have a chance now to break themselves. Songa plays it through the middle. A chance to break down the right hand side. Borough have been tested a few times. Can the ball come across? Oh, a good header, good save. Randolph gets across to his right. Doesn't go behind for a corner this time, but he gets his paws on it, sticks it clear. But a chance for City again. Shot blocked. But again recycled. Some concerted pressure here from Bristol City as we get to the 35th minute. Again, just too much on the cross. And it goes out for a throw-in for Bristol City on the far side. Hunt can't beat his man. Randolph tested there, had to get across to his right quickly and managed to steer it away from danger.
Yeah, it was a brilliant cross from Eliasson. You have to say he's cut back on his stronger left foot again, put it towards Afobe, but good save from Randolph.
Chance here on the far side, nicely chested down and hacked clear by the Borough defender. He's had a good first half for Eliasson, hasn't he? Been bright whenever he's had the ball at his feet. He's looked like he could open up the Borough defence. But again, a bit of a stoppage here as the referee gets a little bit pernickety. Randolph's had a couple of testing moments in the first half, been up to the challenge.
I mean, the header came in from Afobe. It wasn't directly right in the corner. It was slightly in that channel between centre and the corner of the goal. Randolph did well to get across, but you would expect him to make it.
It was close in though, wasn't he? Didn't have a lot of reaction time. But as you say, it's one of those where you say, oh, it's a good save. But if it gets into the back of the net, you say it's a howler, don't you?
Yeah. It's one of those that the keepers can't win.
Yeah. It's Borough coming forward down the middle here. Played in through the middle. But he looks a little bit sad offside there, but it doesn't. Gets the ball down, and that's the opening goal. That's gone into the back of the net, hasn't it?
No, I think Bentley's just got across and nicked it wide.
Oh, for all the world, that looked like it had gone into the back of the net for me. I couldn't quite understand why they weren't cheering there, but looks like it could have been an absolute cracking save. Turns there for Sambalonga, and yet you're absolutely right. Bentley gets across on his near post and just steers it wide because that was going goal bound. Smart save from Bentley in goal. And we've seen now 8 corners in this game. That one comes across right into the danger area, but cleared away by the Bristol City defence. Chance for Borough now to put some concerted pressure down this right hand side. Played across again, but straight into the keeper's hands, and the pressure can be averted. He's tended to, when he gets the ball in his hands in goal there, Bentley, to release it quickly, but this time choosing to just take a bit of a breather and just organising his defence there. But not good play from Bristol City. Borough soon get the ball back. 9 minutes left, or just over 8 minutes left of this first half at Ashton Gate. End-to-end stuff, plenty of chances, plenty of corners, plenty of action, but yet to see an opening goal, despite the fact that they fooled me a few seconds ago.
It's one of those that Bristol were trying to build there, and they had 5 minutes of pressure on Middlesbrough, and had a good chance themselves, of course, with that phobia header, but suddenly Middlesbrough show their teeth and come straight forward as well, and it just evens the game out completely, because both teams are scared of throwing too many men forward. Yeah,
I was going to say, there's not a lot between these two sides so far, is there? It's been a very even first half. Both have had the chances. 0-0 probably underestimates the amount of attacking threat that we've seen, but the fact it's level, I don't think is actually a bad thing for the game, because neither side have really taken it by the scruff of the neck and done too much with it. Ashley Fletcher on the far side gets the ball into Asombalonga, who turns, tries to get the shot in, but goes over the crossbar and out for a corner. Bit of a block on that. Asombalonga trying to wriggle clear, but couldn't quite get his left foot shot on target.
Yeah, it was a good turn from Asombalonga, but to get the ball in from that tight angle, he had to do very well. But it seems as if it may have been a good tackle in the end.
Yeah, we'll see here on the replay. Bit of a shirt pull from Asombalonga, and didn't see too much of any defensive contact there. Looked like that shot just went off the left boot and over the crossbar, but the referee saw something I didn't, and it goes out for a corner on the first side. 9 corners now in the first half of this game. Referee making sure that's in the quadrant before it's taken. A chance for Borough to get the ball back into the danger area again. This one tries to go deep, and good bit of purchase there from Bentley in goal, and this time he does release it quickly and tries to get that ball away. Nice play in the centre of midfield. Oh, and that was an important little touch there from the defender.
It's a brilliant interception from Dyke-Steele. The ball was just going through. It was Vyman with a fancy feet and a great ball forward.
Without that interception, that was he was free, wasn't he, on the near side. As Borough get the ball back and play it through the middle. Borough seems to have got them to want to play along the floor out of defence, not just hoof it forward. Doesn't always work. They don't look as if they've got quite the poise to pull it off at times.
Yeah, it's when Bristol are counter-attacking, they instantly roll the ball along the floor, and Bristol come forward quickly, which is stopping Middlesbrough, because they have to charge back with so much energy that it's difficult for them to do the opposite and go forward.
If you're Lee Johnson or any team taking on Borough, if they're going to play this tactic this season, that's what you do, isn't it? You press them high, and you try and put pressure on those defenders who are struggling to play the ball out of defence, and try and get the ball back and nick it in an attacking area. Borough, just over 5 minutes left of this first half. Can they make something count before we hear the whistle? And they go in for the half-time oranges. It's just a little bit frantic, a little bit messy in that midfield, and the referee again blows up. In fact, he lets play go on there for that infringement. And Bristol City with Masonga in midfield gets the ball, wriggles clear of a challenge, goes down the left-hand side. Got not too much in support. In the end, he kind of buys the free kick there. Rolls over a couple of times, which usually means that there's absolutely no pain involved whatsoever, and a yellow card given out to Wing in the Borough lineup.
I think the referee has seen that challenge, and the boot has come off Masengo as he's running away from Wing. Wing doesn't get anything of the ball, you have to say.
But he was looking for it, Masonga, wasn't he? He knew that he was going nowhere there. And,
which makes it even more of a silly challenge, really, because he didn't need to make it.
Exactly.
Well, it's been a frantic game, as we've said already, but it's continued to produce chances as the game at Ashton Gate. Benny Kafobi had a fantastic chance from a brilliant cross on the far side by Nicholas Eliasson, who cut back on his left foot. And then in the 36th minute, we had a great effort from Asombalonga, who shot the ball towards goal. Somehow, it didn't go in the back of the net, and somehow this game is still level. We're into the last 5 minutes of the half. We'll see if any sort of chances can be created and brought fruition here at the end of this half.
Randolph there getting in a bit of a tether with himself. Wasn't quite sure if that ball had gone out for a goal kick or not. I think he did. Just goes over the line on the far side. The cross came in. Randolph didn't deal with it well, but it is a goal kick to Borough. Just under 4 minutes left. This one, not too many times we've seen this, as Borough just lump it forward from the goal kick. City head on it, and Borough get the ball down, play it out to the right hand side. Good defending from Bristol, but always pressing, always right on the Borough players with the ball. Not too much space for the Borough going forward, And in the end, it results in something like that, where the ball just kind of breaks free, and Bristol City able to get the ball back. As Bentley this time is waving his men forward, suggesting he's going to try and launch it. He does. And breaks away, and it's going to go out tamely on this near side for a throw-in to Borough. So Bristol City players gone to claim it, but I think the referee had given that to Borough as a throw-in, hadn't he? He pointed that direction. Indeed he has.
Yeah, Benikofobi was the man that went to get the ball in on the near side, just behind the cameraman. He's a bit miffed, really, that the ball's gone the other way. Yeah,
he's done all the retrieving there, Benikofobi, but ended up just retrieving it for Dijksteel. He's going to take the throw-in on this near side. Never a bad time to score a goal, but the cliche goes, just before half-time is always a good time. But so far, these two sides can't be separated at Ashton Gate today, but City trying to get forward now on the right-hand side. Played across to the right hand side. It's headed behind. Don't think that was necessary. Actually, going to go out for a corner. Dijksteel with the defending. That ball just lofted in there. Had a bit more time than I think some of his he could have done with a call there. A bit more time than maybe he thought he had.
Yeah, there were a couple of Bristol men behind, but they were a few yards off Dijksteel, so maybe he could have taken it down and cleared it. But nonetheless, the pressure at the end of the half.
Here we go. Corner played in to the edge of the 6-yard box. He's banging around again. He's seen this a few times. Shot comes in, blocked. Another shot comes in, blocked. And Masonga gets the ball out wide past there, forces the ball to come out towards his touchline. Can Bristol City get a decent delivery in here? Tricky feet. Cross comes in. Decent delivery. Header. Goal! First goal of the game. And we've got the opener at Ashton Gate. And it's Palmer. A few minutes after he got booked, he's put the ball into the back of the net. Great delivery right onto his forehead, and he sticks it into the bottom left-hand corner, and Bristol City take the lead at Ashton Gate. Bristol City 1, Borough 0.
And we've got the opener, and it's for the home side. It's Casey Palmer. It was great work on the near side by Eliasson. Really tricky feet, a couple of step overs, took his man down the line, lifted it back into the box, and the spell of pressure brings fruition as Casey Palmer heads the ball into the empty back of the net. He headed it straight down right into the corner. Darren Randolph was just planted to his feet, and finally this game has come into life. It's been a cracking game so far. There's been chances at either end, but it's Bristol that have taken the lead.
Yeah, it's a lovely cross by Eliasson there. He's been influential in everything that City have done so far in this game, and that was a pinpoint cross. Palmer didn't have a huge amount of work to do, but what he did was perfect. Stuck it right in the corner. Keeper Randolph had no chance. And Bristol City delighted. I said the cliche, score before half time, always a good time to score. Well, City look as if they're going to take an advantage into the break in this fixture, and a chance for them at the moment. They've gone ahead, a chance to extend that run of 3 wins in the league and make it 4. They'll go level on points with Leeds at the top of the table if they get the 3 points today. Goal difference is inferior. They'll need to absolutely tonk Borough today to get the 4-goal difference kind of recouped and to go top, just even if it's temporarily. But better to be in that situation than where Borough are finding themselves in the league table at the moment, which is struggling a little bit.
Absolutely. I mean, Bristol were level with Fulham today before the kick-off. Of course, Fulham getting the draw yesterday against Cardiff. So obviously, as you say, level on 13 points now with Leeds United, and Middlesbrough sat in 17th with just 5 points if it stays as it is. So, yeah, maybe rethink at half-time for Jonathan Woodgate, get his players fired up for the second half and creating more chances like they did really in the opening 30 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, he'll feel hard done to, Jonathan Woodgate. I mean, City will be absolutely delighted. 2 minutes of added time at the end of this first half being played out now as the ball's played forward, and it's gone down the left-hand side and goes out tamely for a throw-in. But in the same way, City will be delighted. Jonathan Woodgate will be thinking, we don't quite deserve to be behind at half-time. You know, they've hit the post themselves. They've had a number of moments. Assombalonga's looked dangerous a couple of times. And yeah, it's a cruel game, isn't it, sometimes, football? Just that sucker punch before the break. And Borough look as if they're going to go into the break with that deficit. Got it all to do in the second half when we come back later. But at the moment, Borough have the ball, trying to get something back before the half-time whistle. Played down the right-hand side. But as always, like terriers, aren't they, City? When they haven't got the ball, right on the heels of the Borough players, just nicking it off and causing them giving them no space at all to manoeuvre it. Played forward. Out of defence by Bentley. Head tennis in the centre circle. Borough finally get it down onto the floor, plays it back to Randolph, who's going to hoof it clear. Headed back towards the Borough goal. And Borough just playing it down the right hand side. It's Dijksteel inside. Chance for Borough here, bit of space, but that's a bad ball. And it's not a bad ball, in fact he's heard the whistle. Half time at Ashton Gate, and the home side 1-0.
Right, so it is half time. It is 1-0 to Bristol City. If you are going to leave the stream now because it's half time, make sure to come back in 15 minutes for the second half. If you are new to the channel and you want to see more Bristol City and Middlesbrough related commentaries, hit the subscribe button because we're going to be doing 2 or 3 for each of these teams in the next 2 months. So what we're going to do now it's half time, we're going to look at the match stats. We're going to look at the league table as it stands, and then we're going to look at some other stuff. I'm not sure what else. Look at other scores. So the match stats. Middlesbrough have 54% possession, Bristol City have 46. Bristol City have had 12 shots, Middlesbrough have had 9. Bristol City having 3 on target, Middlesbrough having 2. 4 corners for Bristol City and 6 for Middlesbrough, so pretty even. Middlesbrough with more possession and corners, Bristol City with more shots. And obviously Bristol City are winning 1-0. Casey Palmer with the goal 44 minutes in. So we'll look at the league table as it stands now. So Bristol City will move up to 3rd if they keep this lead. They'll need another 3 goals to go on the same goal difference as Swansea. But Swansea are playing Leeds today, so they could lose. So they might only need another goal or 2. Bristol City to go into 2nd. But Charlton moved down to 4th, Fulham moved down to 5th as a result of Bristol City winning. Middlesbrough will stay 17th for now, but they could drop quite far down because there's 4 teams on 4 points, and if they with Luton draw, then they go above them. Brentford could go above them. I'm not sure if they will or not. Probably will. But that is the updated table as it stands. We'll look at other results as it stands. So Manchester United are 1-0 up. Daniel James with a goal 10 minutes in. His 3rd of the season already. The match stats for that. 55% possession for Man U. 45% for Southampton, 9 shots for Man U, 5 for Southampton, and 4 on target for Man U, 0 for Southampton, and 1 corner for Man U. Is there any other games? Most of the games are 3 o'clock today. I think these are the only 2 games on at the moment. Oh wait, there's a few here. Russian League and Swedish League. Yeah, these are the only 2 games really on at the moment. So 1-0 to Man U, 1-0 to Bristol City. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put thing like that and turn my mic down, and once the second half begins again I'll put it back on the commentary.
Well, we're back underway at Ashton Gate. Of course, just before the half-time break, Casey Palmer struck for the home side and broke the deadlock. So we sit at 1-0 to Bristol. Doesn't look as if there's been any changes at half-time, James, but a really entertaining first half, but one that Middlesbrough will really be looking to try and bounce back quickly.
Yeah, I think Middlesbrough feel hard done to go in a goal down at the break. They had the chances, got another chance here, shot from distance, and it goes straight to the keeper. But yeah, had their chances in the first half. McNair, who had that shot, he was pretty influential for them. Disappeared a little bit in the last sort of 20 minutes of the first half, and that's maybe what cost them a little bit of the initiative. But City, yeah, they hung in there, and Eliasson's been really influential for them, and he put that on Casey Palmer's forehead. It couldn't have been a better delivery for that goal, and all Palmer had to do was get his forehead on it, angle it towards the post, and away you go. 1-0 up at half time, and Borough have it all to do. As we said, you know, looking at the league tables, the live league tables just before the break there, Borough can't afford to be dropping too many points, otherwise it's going to be a long season for them, looking over their shoulders rather than where their fans certainly will think they should be, up around the playoff positions.
Yeah, well, speaking of those playoff positions, of course, Bristol would go level with a win, and of course, with Leeds playing Swansea as well this afternoon, it will mean that somebody will definitely be dropping points as well, so they will definitely be at a minimum in second place in the division. But Borough on the ball on the far side, and it's Dykesteel who runs forward with it. He's tracked all the way by Palmer. Eventually, the ball gets played into midfield down the left-hand side. Bowler flicks it forward. Sombalonga tries to flick it round the corner for Fletcher, but it's cleared in the end by Hunt, and Hunt only finds the touchline. It goes out for a throw-in.
Big game for my team. My team's Leeds United. Big game for them this afternoon, isn't it? With they've had a great start to the season, and 3 points today would make it a really good start to the season.
Well, it'd be interesting for you watching your challengers maybe for the promotion spots in Bristol City today, spotting the opposition. So Sombalonga just tries to get on the end of a through ball, but isn't able to do so. Sorry, the ball goes all the way through to Daniel Bentley. Comes to the edge of his box and clears it. Lee
Johnson's got a good team here, hasn't he? You know, they've got threats all the way through. The defence has looked pretty solid, and with Eliasson and co going forward.
And if Obi takes a shot at goal, he goes down the right inside the channel. It's a good save down to his right hand side by Darren Randolph, but instantly Bristol are the one that are creating the chance early in the second half.
Another one of those saves, isn't it, where it was fairly simple for the keeper there. It's just down to his right. If he'd let that through him, it would have been a goalkeeper howler. But Afobe getting an early chance in his second half, latched onto it quickly and tried to drive a right-footed shot across the goal. Didn't quite get his direction right, and it was a fairly comfortable save in the end for Randolph. But bright start for City. He looked well organised. As I was saying, Lee Johnson's gotten nicely organised here. I saw some comments in the week about, off the back of a very good run, 3 wins in a row in the Championship. The last 2 have been away from home, and he said he was looking forward to getting back to Ashton Gate and trying to get more points at home, where usually they play better, as most teams do. And at the moment, going to plan for him.
Absolutely, they've got a lot of pace and creativity upfield as the ball comes down the right hand side from Hunt. It almost stayed in towards Nicholas Eliasson, but it just did stray, curved out of place. It will be a Middlesbrough throw-in on the near side.
It shouldn't be a rule, that, should it? If it lands in play, it should be in play.
It's an interesting one. I've not, to be honest, thought about that one before, James, but I like the idea of it. It would be interesting seeing players swing the ball right across the faces of the fans and it swerves back in play.
Or the fan nods it back in.
Yes, it's a free kick. Just slowed down the game in the second half again as Clayton gives away a free kick inside the Bristol half. Not seen too much of Clayton today, to be honest. He's the deeper line midfielder alongside Wing and McNair. McNair has certainly been good going forward, and he picks the ball up on the right hand side now. He's looking for a couple of options. There's an overlap from Dykesteel, cuts inside. It's now with Johnson. Johnson, left foot, reverse ball up towards Sombalonga, who's just stood in an offside position. Easy interception for Moore. Knocked long, headed away by Shotton. Now at the feet of Bowler, comes inside from the pressure of Palmer. There's the ball off now to McNair, just inside the Bristol half. Finds Dykesteel on the right hand side. Cross comes into the box. There was 3 waiting for that cross, but it was poor. It hit the first man. Palmer with some fancy feet keeps the ball away from Dykesteel, running away from him, keeps his body in between the ball and the defender. Eventually just casually there's the ball off for Masengo. Now on the right.
Good play, wasn't it, there from Palmer? Showed his strength there to hold off the Borough player and waited for some support.
And he looked as if he was going about 80% at the time. He wasn't putting his full effort in, but he was still doing brilliantly to hold the man off, running and taking the pressure off his defence and bringing the ball into the Middlesbrough half. It's now with Jack Hunt, who will take a throw-in on the near side. And look to go long. Palmer's calling for it. Comes to the feet of Afobe. Lays the ball back to Hunt. Hunt under pressure from Fletcher. Goes back to the keeper. Keeper under pressure from Asombalonga, and Bentley's able to knock the ball clear. Afobe comes to collect, does really well to touch the ball down, then plays the ball into the feet of Vyman. Vyman brings it away and Palmer's fuming. He's not given the ball to him, but Vyman's done well here. He's found a man on the left hand side, crosses to the box. Vyman just onto the end of it. It was brilliant work by Andreas Vyman. He continued his run after the pass and almost got on the end of it.
That was superb from Vyman. He travelled a long way there. If you track him across the pitch, if we had the technology, then you see how far he's run there. He released the ball to the left-hand side, carried on, running into the towards the 6-yard box, and nearly, he was an inch away from a very, very good goal there.
Yeah, it was a good ball from Tommy Rowe from the left-hand side, and that's the first negative I'm going to have to say against Casey Palmer there. He's calling for the ball in central midfield for Vyman to give it to him. Vyman didn't have to. He gave the ball away onto the left-hand side towards Rowe. Palmer could have got forward also, but instead just sat back and
sulking.
Sulking really.
Yeah.
Absolutely. As Middlesbrough clear the ball down the left, it's picked up by Fletcher. There's an overlapping run in the midfield by Wing. Eventually the man goes down. Sombalonga battling for it against, I think it was Brownhill on the near side. Sorry, no, Jack Hunt it was in the end, and Sombalonga wins a free kick for being tugged to the ground, says the referee. So Mark Bowler will take this free kick, just stood over it, plays it short, plays it backwards towards Shotton. Shotton in field to Clayton. Across the back now to Fry. Fry finds Dyke-Steele. He's looking to go down the line, but the fullback is more than happy to let that happen. Palmer's also over there, just almost betting Dyke-Steele to try and back his pace. It does come back to Dyke-Steele once again from the midfield. He plays it backwards. Tried attempt to be crossed into the box, in towards the front of the box, but it's easily cleared and well cleared by Brownhill. Middlesbrough still have the ball. It's infield now, and taking a shot at goal is Johnson on the far side, but his effort goes way over the bar. Nice idea, backing yourself with the confidence, but you've got to produce some better quality than that.
It's a nice idea, but the execution was lacking, wasn't it? 3 out of 10 at most for that shot. And so far in this second half, we've seen Bristol City, they've had definitely the two better chances. Afobe right after the whistle started play again, and obviously we saw Andreas Vyman, that run into the box, nearly getting onto that cross. Middlesbrough though, we've had probably more possession, I think, in this second half, but they're not making it count. The final ball lacking for them, and then we see them resorting to shots from distance, which obviously are not going to, with the execution like that, are not going to trouble the Bristol City defence.
Of course, Bristol, the home side, they are leading as the ball comes in from Hunt towards the edge of the box. It's chested down by Vyman, tries to flick the ball over towards Palmer, falls to Vyman again, shot a goal, left-footed half volley, goes over the bar. Nice instinctive play from him. But of course, Bristol being the home side, they are ahead, so they can kind of sit back. They don't have to push for this game. They just need to pick their chances. That
was a terrific shot, wasn't it? He really did hit that nicely on the half volley. Just didn't get enough of his boot over that to keep it down. But Vyman started this second half really brightly.
Edge of the box, ball pulled back. It's shot at goal, deflected wide. Will go for a corner. It was Josh Brownhill coming forward, the skipper, trying to hit that one. He struck it well, but it was a good block in the end by the Middlesbrough defence. So it will be a corner on the near side.
I said in the first half though, I thought Bristol City looked the stronger side when they were breaking, rather than when they had loads of possession and trying to beat the Borough defence. When they were breaking with a bit of space, they had more. They looked dangerous, and they're going to get more of that. As Borough try and push forward in this second half, they're going to get more chances.
Lyson, corner, near post, headed away instantly by Borough, then flicked on again by a Borough man. It's Fletcher, tries to run the ball out from the back. Good attempt to tackle from Eliasson on the near side. He's able to flick the ball off the Borough man and wins himself a throw-in. For all his efforts, it's Jack Hunt who will take the throw-in on the near side. He's got Masengo just inside. He's now put under pressure. Palmer comes across to offer another option. He eventually goes long up towards Afobe, chested down, looks for a run down the right hand side, holds the defender off in Shotton. The ball goes out for a throw-in.
Afobe got 2 goals in their last game, and he's already got more goals this season than he got last year for Stoke City, and he looks confident, doesn't he? He maybe hasn't quite had the clear-cut chance to stick it away yet, but he looks like somebody that's looking to score more.
Lyson isn't able to get his cross in on the near side. Yes, Afobe scored 3 in 3. And he scored 3 goals in his previous 27 games.
Yeah.
So it certainly shows a little purple patch in form.
Well, sometimes, I mean, Stoke were obviously struggling, but sometimes when a player goes to somewhere new, it's a new challenge, they have to prove themselves again, they have to fit in with new teammates, and it gives them that little bit of a kick up the backside they need to just concentrate on playing better. And he looks like he's got the bit between his teeth.
It's one of those games for Bristol. They've won 6 of the last 8 against Borough. Those other 2 were losses. So it's certainly a team that when they see them popping up at the weekend or against Middlesbrough, it's a confidence boost that they keep getting results against them as the ball comes up almost towards Palmer.
They did
hold his man off.
They did lose this match though last year.
They did.
This game at Ashton Gate, I think Borough won it 2-0. So recent memories of playing, which is why probably Bristol City up for the challenge today to try and get 3 extra points to what they got this time last year.
Ball forward towards McNair, running forward from midfield. He's just intercepted in the end by Moore at the back. It will be a throw-in on the far side for Middlesbrough. Taken quickly, taken short. Now with Dyke still back towards Clayton. Switch of play across the midfield to the left-hand side towards Bowler. Bowler looks to go forward. He looks for a crossfield ball to the right-hand side. The man was coming in Johnson. He just came in a little a second late or so. It was a judge to have fouled, maybe put a shoulder in on the defender who won the ball.
So that final ball again, though, Bowler there just floats that. It's fairly easy for the defenders to deal with, isn't it? When we see City going forward, they're whipping it in at speed. They're beating the kind of the close man, and look much more dangerous. Borough getting a lot of possession, but just not doing enough with it.
Yeah, it's almost as if it's lethargic at times, and Bristol just set into their formation, and it's difficult for Middlesbrough to try and break it down. Goal kick taken long, goes down the right hand side up towards Eliasson. It's headed away by Mark Bowler, so it will be a throw-in for Bristol. Jack Hunt comes up to take it. He's looking for an option down the line. Masengo comes in from midfield.
Not a lot of movement for him there, is there? They're all just stood there watching him.
They are. It's almost as if they think they don't need to put too much effort in going forward. Once again, the throw-in goes up towards Afobe. He touches the ball down. He's able to hold the man off. Good footwork from Afobe. He's able to hang on to the ball. Plays it inside. It doesn't quite find his man, and Middlesbrough have a chance to break if they can get a hold of the ball. It's a battle in midfield. Brownlee misses it for Bristol. Then goes forward. It's a long
nice
ball up down the right-hand side. Floated. The keeper will come out in Bentley. Bentley takes his time on it, holds the man off, and wins a goal kick. He maybe even got a kick for his troubles.
Good play from Bentley there, because showed a bit of poise, didn't he? For a keeper in that position, he's probably not used to being in that kind of position too often. Just shows a little bit of poise and shepherded it behind. But just for a second, it looked like that was a really dangerous ball down the right. Just got a little bit too much on him.
I think it was Lewis Wing with the floated ball, almost like a karate kick from his hip. Just sliced the ball and floated it to the right. Middlesbrough win the ball back. It's now with Clayton inside the centre circle. He's got a few men in front. He finds one in Dykestill. Dykestill comes inside, plays it to the edge of the box. It's a Sambalonga. Shift to his right foot. It takes a strike goal, but he completely gets that wrong and knocks it way into the stands.
Just not good enough, is it? When you get into situations like that, he had a bit of time there as well. Got it onto his right foot. Had a real opportunity to test the keeper, and just wriggles clear there, and he tried to get a little bit of bend on it or something. But sent it miles wide of the post, and you've got to do better. If you're the star striker for your team, you've got to get that somewhere closer to the goal.
Well, if he was trying to get some whip on that one, James, he completely got it wrong, because it just went dead straight, didn't it? Straight up into the crowd. He's searching for his 100th goal today in the Football League. That's excluding playoffs, and it's almost as if he's trying too hard to try and get that. Yeah,
no, he runs hard, and he's a big lad as well, isn't he? He takes him. When you see him going down, you're thinking, well, you need almost like a forklift truck to bring that fella down, because he's got big shoulders, strong lad, but he just isn't quite totally in control of his own game today, by the looks of it.
Throwing comes long for Borough down the near side. It's Fletcher tries to flick the ball over the head of Songo, but he does well to hold on to it. It's a long ball up now for Bristol in towards Palmer. Lifts it over the head of Martin Bowler, trying to find the on-running man down the right-hand side in Eliasson, but it goes out for a Middlesbrough throw-in. Clayton holding off Eliasson. Eliasson just chips him up as he gets past him. Now with Wing. Wing will take the free kick quickly. Lee Johnson shouting orders at his side, maybe not too happy with the way that they've settled a little bit, but not convincingly in the last 5.
I mean, we kind of bemoaning the fact that Borough aren't making enough of the ball, but they're getting the ball. That's the thing that Lee Johnson's not happy with there. You know, we've seen them 2 or 3 shots blazed miles wide of the goal, but only needs one of them to go into the top corner, and all of a sudden it's one apiece, and it's game on. And I gave you a cliche just before half time about not a bad time to score, and they did do. But it's almost like this one. It's the next goal wins this game. You know, if City go 2-0 up, then they're in control, and it's 3 points. If Borough can get one back here with 30 minutes left, you never quite know, do you, where the 3 points could end up here.
Well, none of the last 8 games between these two have finished as draws, so it may be a case of that continuing with the way the pressure's gone in this game.
I'd almost be tempted, if I was having a bet now on this game, to say this could easily finish 1-0. Yeah, I think Bristol City don't look too bothered about adding to their tally. Borough don't look as if they've got the quality to get it back on level terms.
This bowler coming down the left-hand side for Borough, cuts inside on his right, then out on his left, fizzes it across goal, and eventually the man is able to get across and get a block on that.
I was waiting for him to score there after I said that, but he didn't.
Yeah, it was a good attempt from Bowler. He shifted the man in Jack Hunt one way, then the other, was able to get a good crossing chance. He had a good yard on him, but eventually there was a couple of men in the way, trying to get in the way of that cross. I think eventually it was Moore who cut across and was able to block the ball away, but it will be a corner on the far side. Will be a left-footed in-swing and delivery. Comes towards the far end of the 6-yard box, headed in towards the goal, but over the bar once again. And I think it may have been Marvin Johnson who was trying to get on the end of that, but he got it all wrong, and another chance goes begging.
Yeah, got his body shape wrong, was kind of being taken away from goal by the defenders, and got his head on it, but sent it well wide. So another Borough attack ends up with the ball disappearing miles behind the goals. Jonathan Woodgate there on touchline, just stroking his chin, trying to work out what to do next when he make any tactical changes here, just to try and rev up that Borough attacks. At the moment, it's just lacking a bit of pep and a bit of spark.
Well, this game is settled at Ashton Gate in the last 10 minutes or so. No side really creating any chances of late, but it was straight out of the blocks from half-time for Bristol City. A good Afobe shot low to Darren Randolph's right, and then Vyman played a good 1-2 on the far side with Tommy Rowe. He couldn't quite reach, though, to get on the end of the cross, and then a couple of minutes later he had an attempt, a flashed effort that just went over the bar. It was a half volley, but nothing in the last 5 minutes. It's just settled.
You mentioned Tommy Rowe going down the left-hand side for Bristol City, but with Hunt on the right-hand side as well. Not frightened to get forward and putting pressure on Borough down the flanks, pinning them back and allowing the attackers to get into decent positions in the box for the delivery. Eliasson, haven't seen too much of him in the second half. Had a very good first half. Was pivotal to everything that City were throwing forward against Borough. So it's Borough coming forward again, getting plenty of opportunities on the edge of the penalty area. And, on the right hand side, can he get a good delivery across? Oh, it's gone in on his own net. The ball played across there. It's Moore who turned it into his own net, and it's one apiece. It's
a great work piece by Middlesbrough down the right hand side. It's a good flashed ball across the front of the front post, and eventually, as you say, it's just cannoned off the foot of Moore. He wasn't able to steer it out. It was good work down the right hand side though, and out of nowhere Middlesbrough level.
Absolutely, and it's one of those times we kind of bemoaning the fact that Borough had got no punch, but that was a very good ball across the 6-yard box. He took the keeper out of it, and in the end, Moore couldn't do anything. He was just stood there, hit him on the knee, goes into his own net, but it was the delivery, it was that cutback that caused all the problems.
And out of nowhere, there's a goal for the away side. Middlesbrough have levelled this game. It was a great ball across the face of the goal. It was drilled low, went through about 5 or 6 bodies, and in the end, unfortunately for Bristol, it was Taylor Moore at the far stick who wasn't able to steer a clearance wide, and instead, he just cannoned the ball inside his own goal. Unfortunately for him, it's a level game here at Ashton Gate, but this game is all wide open, all to play for. It's 1-1.
Yeah, we're just saying that whoever scored the next goal was probably in the driving seat. Well, Jonathan Woodgate will be delighted with that. It was almost written in the stars it was going to be an own goal, because we hadn't seen enough from the Borough attackers to suggest that they're going to actually get the shot on target. But it was that ball coming across on the right-hand side that did all of the damage there, and Moore couldn't get himself out of the way of it. So one apiece at Ashton Gate, all to play for now with 26 minutes left in this fixture. Bit of a stoppage as one of the Bristol City players, he's on his haunches in the Borough half, but one apiece, all to play for, and probably on the balance of play, around about a fair kind of assessment of the game so far. 1-1. Both teams have had their opportunities. Bristol City probably came out after the break showing a little bit more endeavour, but Borough have had a lot of possession, not done enough with it, and finally they make something count down the right hand side and force that own goal. So one apiece and all to play for now. It's now over to almost Lee Johnson, because I think Jonathan Woodgate wasn't far away from making a change there to try and just make something happen for his team. Probably doesn't have to do that now, and can watch and see if Borough can build on that goal.
Yeah, it's certainly been a pretty even game, and 1-1 is a good showing of that, and it just brings the game even more into life, really. It means that more players will come forward on either side trying to get a winner. There is a man down here and a little bit of concern, it looks like, for Bristol. I'm not 100% sure as to who that is at the moment. We'll wait confirmation of that, but yeah, and it's a really open game now. Either side could win this one.
Absolutely, and it's now kind of almost the baton's been passed to Lee Johnson in terms of his dugout. What do we do now to shake this up? We were in control of this game. We were 1-0 at half time. We came out. We had 2 or 3 decent moves and decent chances, and haven't quite taken the game by the scruff of the neck. It looks like he's going to make a change here. Pereira coming off the bench to replace the injured man.
I think it's Jack Brownhill who will come off, maybe. No, it's Jack Hunt on the near side who has come off for Pereira, and he has also made another change as Callum O'Dowda has come on for the goal scorer in Casey Palmer, who's not had the best second half so far. Casey Palmer,
as you said, kind of sulking when he wasn't involved in play, and whereas it was his responsibility to score a goal. Let's take some responsibility and let's play my part now in the second half. He was almost been a bit of a prima donna, and looks like Lee Johnson's seen that and said, right, you're not going to act like that, sunshine. You're coming off too. Let's have some men that are actually going to play for the shirt in the second half as well. Don't live off your goal. And a couple of changes. Lee Johnson's showing the initiative now. We're going to come back at you, and but Borough into the penalty area themselves here to try and get the second. Shot goes over the bar though from distance, and tamely behind. It's Bristol City 1, Borough 1 at Ashton Gate. 23 minutes left. As we say, all to play for. Look at the player there in the D, just screaming for the ball in acres of space. The ball ends up just being smashed over the crossbar.
It's not the first time that it was Johnson on that far side. It's not the first time he's cut inside on his left foot. That's exactly what Eliasson was doing the whole of the first half, really, for Bristol City. Not seen too much of him, but his counterpart in Johnson has cut inside a couple of times. It's only a matter of time before he gets it right, but the ball's gone through here. Sasombalonga through on goal, left hand side. It's a striker goal! It's a brilliant finish on his left foot, and the away side out of nowhere have scored 2 quick fire goals, and they're ahead.
Absolutely, and saying the first half that Sasombalonga hadn't got his shooting boots on. He got the ball, acres of space on the left hand side of the penalty area. Low left footed shot, drilled into the far corner. Looks like he's had a baby as well, because he's got the old cradle celebration going. But Sasombalonga gets that 100th goal, and Borough all of a sudden, bang bang in the second half, taking charge of the game.
No sooner did they get their first goal, they've now gone ahead at Ashton Gate. It's Middlesbrough have taken the lead. It's Britta Sasombalonga running in the left-hand channel. It was a long ball, poorly cleared by Moore. Sasombalonga picked it up, ran through on goal. Brilliant left-footed finish, low to the bottom right-hand corner. He gets his 100th goal in the EFL, in the Football League. And Middlesbrough, out of nowhere, have gone from 1 down to 2-1 up.
You look at the replay of that, maybe Dan Huntley would be a little bit disappointed. He wasn't too far away from that ball, could have maybe got down a bit quicker, but Sasombalonga hit that beautifully, and all of a sudden Jonathan Woodgate has gone from a very worried man at the start of this second half to somebody that's absolutely delighted. 2-1 up now, Borough at Ashton Gate against a very much informed Bristol City side, and potentially now 3 points against the run of play, you'd have to say, at the start of this second half. Bristol City had the better of the chances, and Borough finally got the shooting boots on, starting to make Bristol City pay for some, maybe a little bit sort of slap happy start to this second half. It's Borough has got having all of the possession at the moment, and Borough are actually the team that are looking the most likely. It's out on the left hand side. It's just over 20 minutes here for Lee Johnson to do something about this. He's just made 2 changes as well to his side, so he's limited really on what he can do to really throw everything at Borough in the last 20 minutes of this game.
Yeah, having made 2 changes already before that goal came in, you want to make changes to stop another goal coming in and then try and bring your team and build towards going forward yourselves, but it's just completely gone the opposite way. And given that he's already made 2 changes, he won't want to throw on another too late in case there's an injury or something.
Exactly, yeah, so he's almost played all of his cards here, Lee Johnson. And obviously one of them was forced by injury, the other one was forced, just a tactical change in midfield. But yeah, at the moment he's kind of only got one hand left to play, and he doesn't want to play it too soon, as you say. Otherwise, it's he's exposed if anything happens untoward later on in the game. Borough will be very, very happy with the way this second half has gone so far, and they're coming forward again on the edge of the penalty area. Shot looks like it was blocked behind for a corner. It's Paddy McNair again, who had a very good game. In fact, I think he just got that shot completely wrong, and it went behind for a goal kick. But McNair's been the most influential player, I think, for Borough coming forward. Had a lot of the ball and looked dangerous every time he's had it. Yeah,
he's been running inside that right channel, really, and he's brought the ball forward brilliantly from one half into the other, and no one has really marked him tightly. I mean, it's a case of 3 men in midfield against 2 today on the favour of Borough, which has meant that Wing and McNair have had space at times, and Brownhill and Masengo haven't been able to cover them, and it's allowed them to get forward and play the ball to the on-rushing wing-back, which at times it's not been always a pertinent thing, but they have come forward a lot in them channels, and that's mainly, as you say, been their main threat.
Adam Clayton there gave Masengo a real clouting challenge from behind. Masengo still down on the floor. Adam Clayton explaining his actions to his counterpart on the opposition. We'll see that ball there, the initial ball for the goal. I was seeing that someone only maybe just on side, but it was going nowhere. The defender actually played it into the path of Assombalonga, who ran onto it beautifully and buried it. But if the defender had just left it, I think it would have just ended up in Bentley's hands. And Bentley had gone forward maybe to collect the ball, ended up having to come back to try and then counter the Assombalonga shot. And maybe just committed himself a little bit too close to his right post and left the left-hand side of the goal empty. The injury allowing the players to take a couple of drinks here and some fluids on board. Some messages being given out there to Assombalonga and co.
Yeah, just going back to that goal from Assombalonga, it was very close as to whether he was offside or not, but he had made the run inside and in behind Pereira. Pereira, of course, the substitute, hadn't quite switched on yet. He hadn't got used to the pace of the game. Assombalonga picked his man, which he was going to stay on, and did so in Pereira, and then the centre-half couldn't get back and recover, and he's through on goal. So it's a brilliant piece of intelligent play, really, from Assombalonga to pick the substitute and say, I'm going to stick on your shoulder.
Yeah, and he was in no doubt what he was going to do. You sometimes see a striker that's not necessarily totally in form or completely happy with their game. It's like I'm saying, is going to be coming off here, which is going to force Lee Johnson's hand even more, isn't it? He's going to have to make his third substitute, and totally committed then to the rest of the game with the side, because that is looks like a right leg injury somewhere for Masenga, who's coming off alongside the physio. Lee Johnson is going to obviously have to weigh that up and see if Masenga's got any chance, but it looks like he's very much inhibited by that injury. And that bit of paper, I don't think it's going to do him too much good there, Lee Johnson. Get some messages out there, sending a little love note.
Yeah, he's given the paper to Pereira, who's given it to Brownhill, who will shout out the orders. Maybe a rejigging formation, or
yeah, looks like it, doesn't it?
Maybe to try and put another man in midfield, because that's where they're being run.
Well, Borough are having all the possession, aren't they? They're getting the ball. We saw in the first half kind of very, very much 50-50. I think I didn't see the stats, but it seemed to me to be very much 50-50 in terms of possession. This second half, when that ball's been on the floor, it's tended to be at a Borough foot, and they've been the team sort of driving the tempo of the game and driving forward. Here's the substitution, the final one for Bristol City.
So it will be Antoine Semenyo
coming on, yeah.
So the youngster, the 19-year-old, has just come onto the field to replace Masengo in midfield. He'll have to slot into a formation or some sort of role that his captain in Brownhill has just shouted out to all his teammates, but we'll see if he can make a difference in the second half.
Yeah, as Bristol City have the ball, they need to, they're the team now with the home support, need to try and drive forward and put Borough under the cosh in this remaining 15.5 minutes of this game. Looking comfortable at 1-0, now 2-1 down. Nice play there, but Borough get the ball back, and that's been too much the tale of this second half. Bristol City's attacks have been easily broken down by that Borough defence. Whatever Jonathan Woodgate said to them at the half-time interval seems to have got them a little bit more organised at the back. and that ball over the top is going to be chased down by Afobe, but goes behind for a goal kick. He's keen, but Afobe to get that ball back to the goalkeeper so that the play can continue. 50 minutes of normal time. We'll have a bit of added time because of that injury. But at the moment, Bristol City, over to you. What can you do in this remaining time to get at least a point out of this game? Because at one stage, 10 minutes ago or so, it looked like it was fairly easy for them.
Yeah, it was really comfortable, really, for Bristol. They were the team that started the second half better, and for 10 minutes or so, Middlesbrough didn't even have a sniff, and it was the likes of Palmer and Eliasson that were bringing them forward. But these changes need to get back in this game quickly for Bristol, because the game has completely turned on its head.
Yeah, Andres Wayman had a really good kind of 10 minutes after the break, didn't he, where he was really driving his team forward. And he's disappeared a little bit, and Borough taking complete control of this second half. Their attack breaks down on the right hand side, and Borough able to get City able to get the ball forward, but it's intercepted. And Borough again with Sambalonga on the edge of the penalty area. He's tightly marked, but he's able to get the ball across. Decent delivery as well, and headed high, and the keeper's able to claim it. But again, some panic at the back for Bristol City. They're going to have to commit forward now, maybe leave Borough a few openings at the back. And it's City driving forward now. Just only two men committed up front. Ball played through, and a tackle brings the player down. Ricochets around, and Borough ended up getting the goal kick as it comes back off of Afobe and goes behind for that goal kick. But not enough men forward, committed to an attack there on the break.
No, it was a nice idea from Bristol. It was O'Dowda that played the ball down the left to Semenya, who's taken the left wing spot since, of course, Palmer's come off. So that's a spot that's been left vacant. But yeah, good move forward. He ran inside, but his only option was Afobe, and he had a man in Dale Fry that was just sat right behind him. And Afobe's under so much pressure, he's not going to be able to control that ball and able to run forward. So it's a case for Bristol, they have to throw men forward. That's
a nice ball through for Sambalonga, who collects it on the edge of the penalty area. He's got that man tight to his rear end, but he's managed to get the ball clear, and referee whistle to his mouth, and that allows play to continue there on the edge of the box. Borough having much the better of this second half, having the possession, and having the possession in dangerous areas as well. Brought down there, but goes out for a free kick. Sorry, a throw in. We're having a bit of a chirp at the referee there.
It was a really solid challenge in there by Pereira, wasn't it? And as you said, the ref brought his whistle to his mouth. It was almost as if he was going to blow for a free kick and thought, no, I'm going to play advantage.
It's Paddy McNair, who's been influential for Borough, as we say, was the man brought down. But Borough again get the ball back. Bristol City just can't keep possession, and they're not going to be able to do too much attacking if they don't have the ball at their feet. It's Borough again who have the ball sweeping out to the right hand side. Oh, he takes a shot from distance. He was never going to score from there. Goes tamely wide of the left stick, and Borough and Bristol City able to get the ball back and potentially regroup with 12 minutes left in normal time.
It's silly really there from Dijksteel. He doesn't need to hit the ball there. They've got all the pressure. They just need to keep Bristol penned in, really.
You're going to have to put a serious shot in from that distance, aren't you, to trouble the keeper. And it just really hands possession back to Bristol City.
And it's one of those as well that in the last 12 minutes or so which we've got left in this game, you expect the team that are down to be the ones that are giving the pressure, but it's Middlesbrough who are putting all the pressure on, so they just need to keep that pressure as long as possible, and that'll keep Bristol penned in and stop them sort of creating anything.
Well, Borough made a name for themselves over the last 18 months, or maybe even longer, for being quite hard to break down, and they're showing that at the moment. When they get the ball, they're keeping the possession and making it difficult for Bristol City to really, as you say, put any concerted attacks together. But it's City here with the ball, sweeps it out to the left-hand side. Borough's back line, inner line. He cuts inside, gets the ball back, thinks about a shot from distance. He goes to the shot from distance, and that is not going to trouble anybody apart from somebody in Rose Ed. It's Brownhill who took the punt, and Lee Johnson. That face says it all, really, I think, at the moment. He was much the happier of the two managers at half-time, and he's seen his side go behind in this second half. A quick bang from Borough, and this match has turned on its head. 20,000, over 20,000 at Ashton Gate. The majority, you think, will be shouting for the home side. At the moment, need to get behind them because they are going to lose this game if it continues like this. Played out from the back, long, hopeful punt up towards Afobe. Collected, the second ball's collected by Andreas Weimann. He waves the man away. He's going to take the throw in himself. Needs some support. Saw that earlier. There wasn't too much movement from the Bristol City from a previous throw, and I think the same was true there. They need to get that ball and want it. And he turns in. Again, thinking about a shot from distance. This time takes a sensible option. Splays it out to the left-hand side. 1-on-1. Can he get the cross in? He does. Header into the goal. 2 apiece. Bristol City have equalised. It's Rowe with the goal. And all of a sudden, Bristol City again. This game has twists and turns. And this 4th twist is towards Bristol City. 2-2 at Ashton Gate. Nice ball across. Header from Rowe. And again, it's a delivery with pace on it. Beats the defence, gives them little time to really counter it. And he thought about a shot from distance from 30 yards, takes a sensible option, 1 against 1, gets the ball across at speed, stands there, directs the header, and away we go, the equaliser.
Just exactly what Bristol City needed. They've levelled this game at home at Ashton Gate. It's now 2-2. It's Rowe, the left back, who ran forward and stayed inside the box waiting for a cross to come in, and then Callum O'Dowda on the far side whipped in a brilliant left-footed ball. Rowe was in the perfect position, stood on his heels, flicked the ball towards goal, and it went into the bottom right-hand corner. Just under 10 minutes to go in this second half. The game is 2-2. It's wide open, both sides coming forward. Few claims for offside, but it is 2-2.
Well, you were saying that this fixture hasn't brought a draw for some time, and now at 2-2, this is either sides to win. They've both had purple patches, they've both had good moments, both sides in this game. Borough coming back 1-0 down at the break, 2-1 up, and now we saw that goal from Rowe was levelled it at 2 apiece. We got 8.5 minutes of normal time. Another change, this one for Borough. Jonathan Woodgate rolling the dice, and it's Johnson, I think, coming off here. Not sure who it was that was stood on the touchline to come on to replace him, but it's Johnson coming off, and it's Saville who is coming on to replace him as Jonathan Woodgate tries to ring the changes here. He shouldn't really be settling for a draw here, Jonathan Woodgate. His team have had the better of this second half, and he'll be thinking there's 3 points up for grabs at Ashton Gate this afternoon. Lee Johnson will be happy his team have got that goal. Maybe didn't quite deserve it on the run of play, as Bowler sends a shot behind for another corner. Seen plenty of corners in this game, 13 now. Not quite as many in the second half as there were in the first half, but corners are coming. The delivery from corners hasn't been fantastic throughout this game. This one swung in towards the far post, headed back, but ends up going tamely behind for a goal quick kick, which Dan Bentley will take. Fry getting his head to it, but couldn't direct it back across goal. Short goal kick taken by Bentley as Bristol City try to build down the left-hand side. Ball played back into midfield. What would you do here then? Would you, if you're Jonathan Woodgate, be happy to settle for the draw now, or would you be thinking there's 3 points here for the taking?
I was wondering if he was going to make a change before that goal came in, because there was on a couple of occasions that the likes of Johnson and Fletcher didn't get back too quickly, but Bristol coming forward on the right hand side, crossing to the box, easily saved in the end. But yeah, there was a couple of occasions where Johnson and Fletcher came back really slowly, getting back into position because they've been running up and down the touchlines all afternoon, and eventually it was just brilliant work on the far side. There wasn't any really defence in numbers on the far side to stop the cross coming in from O'Dowda towards Rowe, and that's where the goal came from. It's one of those that Lee Johnson has played all of his cards. Woodgate's got so many that he could play, but he doesn't quite know which one to pick.
It's Borough coming forward. It was Eliasson who had that bit of a break down the right hand side and couldn't quite deliver his cross. It's Borough now into the penalty area, gets the ball back, a ricochet, plays it back, thinks about a shot from distance, takes it, and it just goes wide. Don't know if that was a deflection or whether that was just straight through the defenders, but that goes wide of the right hand post, and a chance there for Borough to go back into the lead. Let's see if that did take a deflection.
I don't think it did.
Still not totally sure from that replay, to be honest. I don't think it just went straight wide of the post.
I think
it's Wing with a shot.
Yeah, I think everyone just thought that Wing was going to go to that top right hand corner. It shaped as if he was going that way and cut it the other way.
Yep.
And it just surprised everyone, and the keeper was on his heels.
So there are chances out there for Borough. Just 5.5 minutes left, plus a little bit of stoppage time. We've had a couple of injuries in this second half, so there's going to be a decent sized number, you'd imagine, come up from the fourth official when we get to that stage. But Zombalonga was the man that put Borough ahead. And then we've seen the equaliser in the last few minutes of this game. It's been a very good game. Bit scrappy at times, but both sides have come out onto this Ashton Gate surface intent on trying to score goals and trying to take this game by the scruff of the neck. And at the moment we stand at 2 apiece as Borough come forward again. Asombalonga on the edge just inside the D, cuts it back, thinks about a shot from distance. He's going to play it out to the left hand side. Needs a decent delivery, gets the ball across, goes along the floor. A good choice, nearly caused a bit of mayhem in that City defence, but in the end it gets cleared, but only as far as Borough coming forward again. It's Borough that's definitely had the better of this second half. They've had far more possession. A good delivery again into the box. Asombalonga trying to get his head onto it. Can't quite get the desired effect, but again it's recycled back towards a Borough shirt. Cuts inside. Out to the right hand side where Dijkstrel's going to try and take his man on. More influential in the first half, has to be said, than the second half, but manages to get the ball inside. Borough retreat to try and come again. City desperately trying to get that ball back. Long ball punted in towards Asombalonga. Chests it down, gets it onto his right foot, plays it inside, but wasn't read by his teammate. And Bristol City able to hoof it clear, and that's really all it was. But it's a good header inside, and nearly gets recycled to the second man. But again, Borough just come back again. You'd think they were the home side here. They're the team with all the possession. They're the team looking to try and get the goal that's going to give them the 3 points. Dijkstrel eyes up across, gets it in. Someone gets his head to it, again, tries to knock it inside, but nobody's there looking for the second ball. And again, it's just hoofed wildly clear by Bristol City, who are just really in survival mode at the moment.
Absolutely, it's Borough coming forward and forward and forward again. It was Asombalonga just there battling with the goalkeeper, it looked like. And eventually, I'm not too sure who got the touch in on the end, but it went firing straight into the air. Both players hit the deck, and Asombalonga tried to scramble for to pick up the pieces, but no one able to steer the ball either away from goal or towards goal. If
you actually look at the replay, when Asombalonga actually tries to head it back across, there's almost an open goal there for him if he'd had the vision. But coming back off the ground after that first challenge, maybe wasn't quite aware of the fantastic position he was in. But City, for a change, have the ball at their feet in the final third. Can they make this count? Plays it down the right hand side, delivered across to the far post, headed back. And it's going to go behind for a goal kick as the hacked clearance goes straight into the City player.
I feel as if Pereira's cross was slightly overhit there. It went to the far stick. It was headed across then towards Weimann. And Weimann, it looked for a second as if he was going to win a penalty because the man came across and tried to hook the ball clear. He didn't get any contact though, and the ball didn't stick at his feet either.
Certainly more quality, you'd say, in the attacking third for both teams than the defensive third. When they're under the pump, the defence for both sides looks a little bit chaotic at times, which is why I guess we've had 4 goals in this game.
It's all to play for at Ashton Gate. It stands at 2-2. Bristol going ahead in the first half. Middlesbrough swinging the tide in their favour, and then Bristol out of nowhere just scored through Rowe, and it's all to play for. There's chances at each end, but it is Middlesbrough who are having the lion's share of the possession. They're the team creating the chances and causing problems. Asombalonga just battling there with Daniel Bentley, not able to get anything on target though, as the ball cannoned into the air, and he tried to pick up the pieces as it came back.
There's a wild pass there across field. And doesn't reach his man. So Borough hands possession back to Bristol City with just over a minute left of normal time. There will be some stoppage time, so there is a chance for one of these sides to take this game by the scruff of the neck and take that all-important 3 points, which would take Bristol City up level with the current top of the table. Middlesbrough down in 17th when they were behind in this game. A point away from home, never a bad thing, but Borough will think that in this second half they've had the chances to actually win all 3 points in this game. Definitely had the better of the last 15 minutes, since that ball's played forward again to Borough, but Asombalonga can't quite collect it. In fact, it's Fletcher, isn't it, that couldn't quite take that down on his right foot. It's cleared away by Bristol City, who Phobe just making a bit of an infringement there on the defender, who was quite close to him. And it's Shotton who's down. looks like he has been shot, but just taking a bit of a breather and maybe taking some time out of this game. And I think his team needs it, actually, with a bit of injury time. It's theirs for the taking here, Borough.
Yeah, well, we were talking about Jonathan Woodgate's options. He took absolutely none of them apart from bringing on George Saville, and it's kind of worked for him. His side have been on top. They've been the one creating the pressure. It's almost as if, don't ruin something that's not broken, but he will now make a change.
Here we go then. It's another roll of the dice. 5 minutes of added time we see on the left-hand side. I think that was for the time added on. It's Fletcher that's Ashley Fletcher that's coming off the pitch. Had a fairly quiet game, actually. I think Fletcher. He's not been massively influential in this fixture, and it's Gusted that comes on for Borough to try and, as an attacking substitution, really. Gusted will be playing up front, trying to get himself on the end. It is 5 minutes of added time.
Yeah, it's one of those substitutions because Ted is a big target man to try and play the ball up to and can crash into the box when a cross comes in or a corner. Fletcher more of a creative type on the left wing, but a bold move from Jonathan Woodgate. His team are on top, so he's gone for all 3 points here.
It's one of these games, isn't it, where you think, you look back at the end of the season, wherever you end up, and you think, well, there was potentially 2 points that we didn't quite get our hands on at Ashton Gate at the end of August. And depending on where you end up in the table, it's whether you rue that missed opportunity or not. But at the moment, Jonathan Woodgate is the manager that's maybe looking to try and do a bit of a smash and grab at Ashton Gate and to take all 3 as the ball's played into the Borough area and gets turned behind for a corner. So it's actually Borough now with the opportunity to maybe get the head on a cross and steer it goalwards and maybe get a late winner. It's heading for the draw unless somebody can do something special. A lot of movement in the box, and that's a good delivery into the 6-yard area. It was kind of punched away by Bentley, and it's gone by Randolph. Sorry, it's going to be recycled, headed, pumped into the penalty area, cleared away by the Borough defence, headed back down the left-hand side. Appeals for an offside, but it's not been given. Chance for a cross from Borough into the edge of the 6-yard box. Gets his head to it, but just turns it behind. Can't quite see on my screen how much time we've got. It was 92 minutes on there, so we've got about 3 minutes left of this added time at the end of this fixture. 2 apiece at the moment at Ashton Gate. The goal now effectively takes the 3 points. You can't see anybody fighting back if they concede at this stage of this game. Afobe been busy up front, done a lot of running to try and get himself on the end of various things. Hasn't quite worked for him to date. And a little bit of a tap on the heels there by Semenya, and it's going to be a free kick to Borough.
You could see the plan there for Jonathan Woodgate's side. The long ball came up to Rudy Gusted, of course, the man who's come on from the bench. He's just going to try and flick everything on towards Asombalonga.
That was an opportunity, though, to actually use him. You had a free kick on the halfway line, just pump it forward and see if he can get on the end of it. But they decided to go sideways to Borough, but they pump it in now. And it's just on the edge of the penalty area. It's kept into Borough's possession here. Men jostling for position inside that penalty area. If they can get a decent delivery, they can't. It's scuffed, the cross, and cleared away to the far side. It's going to be a Borough throw, though, getting towards the dying embers of this game. Bristol City are the team that are living on their nerves here, with Borough trying to take the 3 points this afternoon. And a good play there. Beats 2 men, gets himself into the penalty area. Can he get the ball across? No, it's turned behind for a corner. Pereira, the man that's standing strong there. Adam Clayton trying to get down that left-hand side. Good play by him. And a chance for Borough here in the dying embers of added time to get good delivery into the Bristol City box and see if they can get a winner that I don't think anybody could have too many complaints about. They've had the better of this second half, played good football. Flicked across. Can somebody get anything on this one? It's broken to the edge of the box. It's chipped back in. Chance here for Borough. Turn behind. And it's going to go out from the keeper. Look at Bentley. His reaction to that. Think about it, lads, he says.
Yeah, it was a clever ball from the edge of the box. I think it was Clayton lifted the ball back in, shot and turned his man. He was well onside, took a strike at goal, but it was good work from Bentley to rush out of goal. But another great chance for Borough from a corner.
He might have conceded a couple, but he's had a good game, I think, Dan Bentley in goal. That's been headed beyond everybody and goes away to the far side. It's going to run out for a corner. It's going to be a Borough throw. And this, you think, we're getting to kind of like the final last chance saloon here. It's going to be launched into the box. They know that they need to get that ball to the edge of the 6-yard box and try and make something from this. Otherwise, the referee is going to be tempted to put whistle to mouth and end proceedings this afternoon. It's going to be Shotton who's going to launch it into the area here with a long throw. Everybody's waiting.
Specialist.
Here we go. It's now or never for Borough. If they're going to take all 3 points, it's launched into the edge of the 6-yard box. Headed clear by Bristol City, but only as far as Borough. But as he is, the managers shake hands. Ashton Gates in a good game this afternoon, ends 2 apiece.
Right, so full time it finishes 2-2 between Bristol City and Middlesbrough. So we're going to go through the match stats, then we'll end the stream. We'll do a new one. We're going to probably do either Sheffield, I think. Let me look at the Premier League fixtures, see which ones I can do. I'll probably do West Ham Norwich instead of doing a big top 16, 'cause then that would be better. And I saw a few people asking for West Ham Norwich, so I'll do that in 5 minutes. But the match stats: 58% possession for Middlesbrough, 42% for Bristol City, 21 shots for Middlesbrough, 18 for Bristol City, 6 on target for Middlesbrough, 5 for Bristol City, and 10 corners for Middlesbrough, 6 for Bristol City. So a pretty even game. Finishes 2-2. Palmer with the opening goal, Moore scoring an own goal to make it 1-1. Assombalonga giving Middlesbrough the lead, and then Rao scoring with 9 minutes to go. What that does for the league table: Bristol City go to 3rd on 13 points. And Middlesbrough no, that's not updated. Middlesbrough are still on 17, but they're on 6 points, and Bristol City are on 11 points. I think they still got up to 3rd though. But anyway, I'm going to end stream now and set up another one. So I'm going to start streaming again in 4 minutes for West Ham